the Rams from last year with the RPO offense, kind of being the game changers that they were with Sean McVay. But at the end of the day, they didn't go to the Super Bowl, right? Well, I'm sorry, the Rams did, but they didn't win the Super Bowl. The Patriots did. So I guess the main question here that I'm taking away from all this is, and once again, I'm saying the Patriots still go to the Super Bowl because I may have said it when the season started. But you can't deny that the Ravens have talent, and you can't deny that the Ravens are built for the playoffs. I guess the biggest question is, from what you've seen so far, are they the Super Bowl contenders? And will it be an upset if somebody beats them?
I don't necessarily think it would be an upset just because we've seen this narrative before. Like you said with the Rams, we've seen teams blow through the regular season, and it just looks like, look, they're on a collision course to hoisting the Lombardi Trophy at the first weekend in February. But I wouldn't necessarily say it's an upset, but if they don't win it, I would be surprised. I mean, from what I've seen from them, they're clicking on all cylinders, both sides of the ball. This offense is just incredible. I mean, Mark Ingram's, resurgence, so to speak.
Sure.
Which I can honestly say I didn't see coming. I mean, he wasn't necessarily, a scrub in New Orleans, but
let's be honest. I mean, he was kind of lost behind Alvin Kamara a little bit, right?
Exactly. With that, and also, I mean, we got to give credit to that defense, man. I think with the addition of picking up Marcus Peters, they restored, a little bit of swagger that they may have lost in the past.
Yeah.
And on both sides of the ball, I mean, you got Lamar and the personnel. These guys are just out there having fun, and there are few things more dangerous than a team that's just coming out there having fun and beating you to sleep.
And that's kind of a testament to who they are. Obviously, on offense, they're very talented, but also on defense, right? Because you have a defense who lost a lot of key additions, right? Like they lost Terrell Suggs, they lost C.J. Mosley, and those guys are, those guys are staples on any team.
Right.
And the fact that I feel like the culture that John Harbaugh has established there in Baltimore, it's almost greater than the sum of its parts, where you can afford to lose a guy like Terrell Suggs. You can afford to lose a guy in his prime like C.J. Mosley, and then replace those guys, and you're not going to miss a step. And for the most part, which is probably the biggest surprise to me, even bigger surprise than Lamar Jackson, is the way their defense is playing. Well, yeah, they give up some plays here and there, but overall, I think they're the real deal. And I guess going forward, we just compared it. We compared them to the Rams. We compared them to the hype of the Chiefs from last year. But to me, this is a different type of offense in the fact that they can beat you so many different ways.
Yeah.
And it's predicated off the run game. Now, I know what you're saying, Austin. Well, so was the Rams last year. I mean, Todd Gurley really got that offense going. There's a reason why the Rams aren't doing so well this year, and it might have a direct correlation to Todd Gurley not getting going in the first part of the season. But I just feel like, and of course, everybody can stay healthy here for the Ravens. I just feel like they have so many different ways to beat you. They can out-physical you. They can out-maneuver you. They have the speed. And I'm talking about they can run up the middle. They can run on the sides. They can do everything. And then there's such a well-oiled machine where it's almost to the fact of even like a great defense like the Patriots, even like if the Steelers for some reason would meet them in the playoffs, like I cannot see a team keeping up with them on defense. And then if you switch over, well, let's go back last year real quick to the Chiefs and Patriots, right? And even last year, the Patriots defense was pretty solid. The Chiefs played the Patriots the first time in the regular season, and the Chiefs had a field day on the Patriots, right? So the Patriots come back in the playoffs. They play at Arrowhead, and Belichick has his genius game plan set up. And granted, I think the Chiefs still scored like 30-something points, and people will say, well, it was a good offensive day. But if you go back and watch that film, the Patriots did a great job of shutting down Mahomes for the most part, right?
Right.
So now let's think about this Ravens offense quick, where I just can't see any kind of team shutting them down to the point where they're not going to score 30-something points a game. And then guess what? Something that the Chiefs didn't have last year, something that the Rams maybe didn't really have last year as well, is they have a legit defense in Baltimore. So from that perspective, I think it's going to be just a clear road to the Super Bowl for the Ravens.
And see, you just kind of got to my point a little bit about it too, because with the way the NFL is, and obviously the NFL has a funny way of figuring everything out. Like it's very difficult to beat a team the same way, obviously 2 times in a row, especially once you get to the postseason. Like you just said with the Patriots and the Chiefs, I'm sort of, I would probably say for the first half of the season with Lamar Jackson, I'm like, okay, I've seen this before. At some point, someone's going to figure this out. They have to, because it always happens. And it just seems that no matter, I mean, look at some of the teams that they're beating. I mean, it just seems that they're clicking on all cylinders and they're playing their game. Like they're not adjusting to anything else. And I don't even know if it's necessarily a fact of teams know how to stop it, but it's just you just can't.
Well, and to be fair, we're talking about the offensive coordinator from the Ravens, Roman. Well, he was in San Francisco with the whole Kaepernick era, right? And the Kaepernick hype. And there was a few seasons where Colin Kaepernick was the it guy, right? That they ran that read option and nobody could stop him. I distinctly remember watching Colin Kaepernick run for 200 yards in Lambeau Field in like 10-degree weather and absolutely tore the Green Bay Packers apart. So we have kind of seen this story before a little bit, and teams got hip to the game. All of a sudden, Kaepernick kind of fell off a little bit. And now, granted, he's going through all the other stuff as well. But you kind of saw a lapse in his play just because teams got hip to the game of stopping that quarterback read option. I just feel like with this Ravens offense now, what you're seeing where they can, and I say it all the time, they can beat you on every single level, where in San Francisco, they couldn't really do that. They can beat you with Mark Ingram up the middle. They can beat you with Lamar Jackson on the side. They can beat you with Mark Andrews, Nick Boyle, Hayden Hurst in the middle. And then they got Hollywood Brown when he's healthy, one of the fastest guys in the NFL, taking the top off. As a defense, it's just hard to stop all those guys. And if you're Bill Belichick, if you're a defensive-minded genius, I'm trying to think of, even like Mike Tomlin and his whole system, they run a pretty good defense. But it's just the fact that it's not like the Chiefs where you can shut down Kelsey and then, you can try to take away Tyreek Hill. With this system, it's like, yeah, you can shut down Mark Andrews, you can shut down Mark Ingram, but there's still going to be people exposed. And from that perspective, I just feel like the Ravens are definitely obviously the front runner to go to the Super Bowl, and they should win it pending they play good football down the line here. But you actually brought up a great point, and you mentioned Michael Vick, right? And we both grew up on Michael Vick. How old are you again, if you don't mind me asking? 30. See, and I'm 31. So, Michael Vick was obviously super influential on me, as I assume he is to you, because you're a big Falcons fan.
Oh, yeah, he's my first favorite player.
Exactly. So, are we seeing really and it's funny because we had Peter King on the show, and Peter King even said that he thinks right now where Lamar Jackson's at, right now, he's better than Michael Vick. I think it's up for debate a little bit, but are we starting to see the second incarnation of Mike Vick? And I'm not saying just obviously he's a dual threat quarterback. We get that point. But I'm saying just from a mainstream standpoint. I'm saying from the Nike commercials. I'm saying from his own cleats. I'm saying from every single kid, no matter what kind of fan they are, no matter who their team is going to be rocking a Lamar Jackson jersey. Do you think that's going to happen?
100%. I think Lamar Jackson is definitely the next coming of the, NFL quarter. Like one of the, obviously we have many. We have, Pat Mahomes and Russell Wilson still kind of hanging on, but I think Lamar Jackson is by far definitely going to be one of the new faces of the NFL. And in regards to Peter King saying he's better than Michael Vick right now, I'll be honest with you. I can make a case to say, yeah, he might be. Honestly, I think that just from what I've seen from Vick so much, he was always a great runner, greatest athlete on the field, no matter who they play. But week in and week out, he didn't make some of the throws that Lamar Jackson is making. Like the play that Lamar Jackson threw on the sideline or the touchdown on the goal line, he scrambled out. Michael Vick's running that play. I'm beating you to the corner because I'm faster than you and anybody you have. I'm beating you to the corner, as opposed to pulling back and just firing a dart in there. Yeah. I just feel like he's so in tune with the game as far as he's not trying to make more of what something is. He's obviously taking what the defense gives him because with Lamar Jackson, you have to give up something. Yeah. But I would say as of right now, and he does have a few more weapons. I'm not going to lie. Michael Vick had no work done. Algie Crumpler, Malcolm Jenkins, all those guys. But as far as is he better right now because he's so young in the game? We've barely seen him scratch the surface of what he can be. Yeah. I think it's fair to say that he might, be, exceeding what Vick was right now. And I'm going to say this. Lamar Jackson right now has something that Michael Vick never had. He has a chip on his shoulder. Because even when Michael Vick came out of college from Virginia Tech, people knew what he was. Of course. He was a bona fide quarterback, and he was a dual threat guy. He could beat you with his arm and his legs. But what was the narrative coming out of college for Lamar Jackson? It's that, he might be a little too small. He's a running back. He might be a running back. He might be a wide receiver. Hopefully he can do the combine drills at wide receiver. We don't picture him being a quarterback. So off that get-go, I feel like that put a chip on Lamar Jackson's shoulder. And you see it when he plays in the football game because, yes, there are times where he can run the ball. And there are times maybe where he throws a pass and maybe it's tipped or it's not completed where he probably could have ran it. But that's Lamar Jackson wanting to be a true quarterback. That's Lamar Jackson trying to show teams, you know what? You guys passed on me because you said I wasn't a real quarterback. Go ahead and check this out. 80-yard bomb to Marquise Brown. It is what it is. And I get it with John Harbaugh. I think nobody saw this coming.
John Harbaugh came out and said, yeah, we had a good feeling about Lamar Jackson. That's why we drafted him. But you also took a tight end before Lamar Jackson, okay? You traded back up to get Lamar Jackson.
Shout out to Hayden Hurst. I was at his
exactly.
house.
Oh, you were really?
I was there.
Right on. How was the party?
That was a pretty good party.
Good. Was it refreshments and everything going on?
I can't divulge any information.
Okay, can't divulge any information. But that's my point where, you may have knew he was special, but not that special because you didn't take him with your first pick. You tried back up to get him.
That's
but
fair.
Whatever it is, though, Lamar Jackson definitely probably going to be the favorite for MVP. But don't sleep on Russell Wilson, though. We still got Russell Wilson coming up. It should probably be between those two, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But also, when we come back, well, we got to talk some Jaguars, obviously. There's a reason why Brent Martineau's not here. He's in Oakland. So let's start breaking down that Jaguars Oakland Raiders game. But I want to keep the conversation going with Lamar Jackson, too, a little bit. Is his second year better than Patrick Mahomes' second year? We'll get into it.
Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Partly to at times mostly cloudy with scattered showers today, but mild temperatures will reach the mid-70s. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 Action News Jax from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where now through December 24th, you get 20% off everything in the store, including loose diamonds, only at Beard's Diamonds.
New flavors and a rating that would make man jealous. Hey, everyone, this is Austin Lane.
And I'm Brett Martineau. Vita de Louis recently got a 98 rating. It's new, and it's getting rave reviews.
Made in Tequila, Mexico, and shipped directly to Jax Beach. Vita de Louis is available in 3 flavors.
And those flavors are Blanco, Reposado, and Añejo. Try all 3. Make your own recipes with Vita de Louis Tequila, one of the smoothest tequilas you will ever taste. For merchandise and more, visit VitaDeLouis.com. Trust, tradition, and quality. A winning combination to feel good about your home. Sometimes it's just that time to replace your roof. Or maybe you need to fix your roof after a recent storm. Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau of Action Sports Jax. And there are so many roofing companies in the area. But which one can you trust? Let me tell you about my friends at Jack C. Wilson Roofing Company. Trust a family-owned business with owners that grew up right here in Jacksonville. Talk to the owners directly. Get free estimates. And you can trust Jack C. Wilson Roofing to walk you through each step of the process. Tradition? Jack C. Wilson is a name you know. The longest-standing roofing company in Northeast Florida. They have been repairing and replacing asphalt shingle roofs since 1946. How about quality? A roof you will tell your neighbors about. Quality from start to finish, shingle by shingle. You can request a free estimate at jackcwilsonroofing.com. It's the first name in Jacksonville roofing. And make sure you let them know Brent Martineau sent you.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you. Then you need to be online where they look for you. Then you need to...
I don't have time for that. I need to run my business.
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
Local Solutions. Visit JacksonvilleLocalSolutions.com today.
Moscow Ballet's Great Russian Nutcracker dazzles this Christmas. Bring the whole family together for the original holiday tradition. Step into a simpler time filled with sweet dreams and spectacular magic. Experience world-class artists, stunning costumes, and towering puppets on the Gift of Christmas tour. It just wouldn't be Christmas without Moscow Ballet's Great Russian Nutcracker. Get tickets now at nutcracker.com.
Appearing at the Florida Theater December 22nd. Get your tickets today at nutcracker.com.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
If you could take one college football coach right now and send him to Jacksonville.
Matt Rule, not just because he's so offensively talented. He is the type of person that believes in creating an environment and a culture, and I think that matters in the NFL now, too.
Now, back to Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and on your smart speaker.
It's pretty cool. My favorite player growing up, but it's amazing, and I'm gonna cherish that forever. And we just gotta keep it going. You know, records meant to be broken, like he said. I heard him say that, and it's an honor for me to do it.
So humble. That is Lamar Jackson from the Baltimore Ravens. So humble, but I guarantee deep down is like, F you for saying I wasn't a real quarterback. F you for saying I wasn't a real quarterback. F everybody, I'm out. Like, seriously, you have to put that kind of chip, and I guarantee he is right now.
I mean, you kind of have to. If you want to play in the NFL, you have to have some sort of chip because you can never be complacent. I mean,
absolutely.
If you don't remember, what got you to the position that you're in, then you're bound to be complacent and you won't be getting any better. If you're not getting better, you're getting worse, right?
Exactly. And speaking of getting better or getting worse, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars traveling to Oakland here for it's kind of like the Oakland Raiders / homecoming / going away party. I don't know what you want to call it, but it's going to be a giant celebration. The black hole is going to be in full effect. Have you ever been to Oakland before covering the Jags or not?
I have not been to Oakland. Not for the Warriors game or the Raiders, to be honest with you.
Sure.
I'll be honest with you. Whenever we were doing our selections as far as which road trips we wanted to go to, I actually thought about this one, obviously with them moving to Vegas and whatnot, just because, I mean, you hear so many things about the Raiders, and part of it deterred me, but part of it also intrigued me, with the whole, and I don't know how true this is, but, with the fans throwing the bottles and everything. So I was like, I got to make sure if I go out there, I'm wearing neutral colors. 100%.
Oh, without a doubt, man. And it's funny, Gardner Minshew's been on record saying that his dad's going to go out there rocking Jaguars jerseys. But I guess when you have a name like Flint, you can't be too worried about the black hole.
Oh, have you seen him? No.
No. Hey, I get it.
Nobody's throwing any fades his way.
For sure. But I'll be honest, of all the places that I played, it wasn't the loudest place, but by far just the people in it. And this is more crazy than Buffalo, which I played in a couple times. Philly, New York. I mean, Oakland definitely takes the case. I have a soft spot for Buffalo because my very first away game was at Buffalo, and we pulled up to the stadium, and I kid you not, there was 100 people, and I'm talking kids, I'm talking grandmas and grandpas. It's a family affair. They're in a straight line, and they're all giving you the middle finger.
Yeah.
And they're throwing, they're throwing stuff at your bus.
Sounds about right.
I'm like, welcome to the NFL. I'm used to going to Austin Peay and to Tennessee State, and now all of a sudden we're in the real dogs with Buffalo. But it's a crazy scene. But obviously in Oakland, it's going to be a crazy scene as well. Let's get off the fans for a second, though. Let's talk about this Jaguars team real quick. The Jaguars are down DJ Chark.
Yep, big loss.
It was announced today that he's not going to be playing. That's obviously a huge loss in a battered Oakland secondary that I think is ripe for the picking, especially when you need a confidence game from Gardner Minshew. I think if you're Minshew's perspective, you have to show that you're the man for the job, assuming that when that new regime comes in. I mean, on paper, I'll be honest, from top to bottom, once again, I think the Jaguars may have the Raiders beat, but based on what I've seen, because it's not about the stats, it's not about the paper, it's about what you've seen on film. And what I've seen on film right now from the Jacksonville Jaguars, especially the past 5 weeks, is a team that cannot figure out how to stop the running back in the run game and in the passing game. And guess what? Raiders got a guy by the name of Josh Jacobs. Now, he was out last week. He had some kind of shoulder injury.
Yep.
The smart money would probably be to rest him this week because you're a pretty big favorite. You're a 6.5-point favorite right now to beat the Jaguars. And you have capable backups. But at the same time, you want that guy to win Rookie of the Year, and it's against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Might as well pad those stats a little bit. What do you see happening in this Raiders-Jaguars game?
I mean, I wish I could say that I was confident about the Jags obviously going over and winning because they should. I mean, the Raiders are, I mean, look, the old saying, you are what your record is.
Sure.
But I don't think the Raiders are actually a 6-7 team, to be completely honest. I think they're probably closer to being, 4-9 than 6-7. Obviously, with Josh Jacobs coming back, that's going to be big for them. But, I mean, top to bottom, you go across the board and match these guys up left and right. I mean, this, like you said, should be a game that the Jaguars win. I mean, you got a guy in Derek Carr who's I mean, look, he's serviceable, but he's also very up and down. This should be an opportunity for the defensive line to get back there and get some sacks because he's not necessarily a mobile guy. He's not necessarily a statue either, but the fact that you should be able to get to him and get him down, the secondary should be able to kind of, get their hands on some balls. But my biggest thing with the Jaguars is that it's not a matter of what they can do. It's a matter of what they actually do. I mean, they've played a lot of teams where they should have had success, and this is another one. But for whatever reason, they just don't. And obviously, it's one of those things where, I don't believe they're quitting. Obviously, I mean, you're a football player. You're out there.
No, man. That's one of the biggest words that I hate to hear. Is someone's quitting on a football field,
and you can't.
It just doesn't happen.
And that you can't be for two reasons. One, that's the quickest way to get somebody hurt. I mean, if you're out there playing 50 and I'm out there 100, we're coming, head to head.
It's game over.
But I mean, is there anyone that doesn't think Josh Jacobs is going to come back from being hurt and go for $150 right now? I mean, they just cannot stop the run to save their life. And and any team, if they can run the ball on you at will, they're more than likely to win the game.
And here's the thing: we're going to do our 6-pack of picks later here. And I'll tell you right now, spoiler alert, I'm not picking the Jaguars because why should I? Why should I pick a team who has absolutely been abysmal the past 5 weeks against the running back? And why should I pick a team who hasn't made any type of coaching changes, who actually lost some guys on defense? Why should I pick that team? You know, it'd be one thing to say if there were some coaching changes, whether it was the head coach or defensive coordinator, and maybe, okay, for instance, let's say they got rid of Todd Wash this week, and maybe Dom Capers comes in, and maybe he throws a little wrinkle in the game, right? Maybe he goes a little more 3-4, because that's what he's accustomed to doing. Well, at least teams wouldn't have that scouted. But what I'm making my pick off and what I'm making my prediction off is what I've seen the past 5 weeks. We know who the Jaguars are. And maybe that they play that game where they're just out of their minds and there's a lot of things that can go on unexplained. I don't see it being this game. I think John Gruden is an offensive-minded genius. I think the fact that you said they have 6 wins this season, if the Raiders don't win another game this season, to me, it's still a success. Because with that roster right now, with how young they are, I don't think anybody had him pegged to, go to the playoffs, especially after Antonio Brown left. So credit it up to the offense, credit it up to Gruden, doing the whole culture thing and making sure the guys are ready to play, whatever it is. But the Raiders are playing some decent football. And when I look at where the Jaguars are the most vulnerable, like I said, they are vulnerable at the running back spot, but also the tight end spot. Hunter Henry could have had 4 touchdowns last Sunday against the Jaguars.
Agreed.
I mean, it was literally to the point where Philip Rivers was like, we'll go over here now. We'll spread it out. What's up, Mike Williams? You haven't been really getting guy going this season. I'll go ahead and throw you a touchdown real quick. Keenan Allen, you're always around. I'll give you some love as well. Oh, Melvin Gordon, got to give him some love. It just seemed like that Chargers offense, they were just picking and choosing wherever they wanted to go. And when you're talking about picking and choosing, well, the tight end position, which I think this guy, Darren Waller, is a top 3 tight end right now in the NFL. He's playing like it. And why we're still waiting to hear who the NFL Comeback Player of the Year is going to be, to me, it's obvious right now. It's Darren Waller. If anybody watched Hard Knocks, you know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
This guy came, out of a drug rehab facility, shows up to training camp, and now is one of the best tight ends, in the NFL. And, oh, by the way, he signed like a very mediocre deal for I think two years. Just peanuts what he's playing for right now. But props to him, obviously comeback player of the year. But he's a guy, if you're the Jaguars defense, you have to watch out for. And where I think the Jaguars right now, and don't get it twisted, there's a liability at a lot of spots on that defense. But where they're most liable, obviously, it is the linebacking core. And we're talking about Josh Jacobs being that receiver threat, when we're talking about Josh Jacobs being that running threat, and when we're talking about Darren Waller being the threat out in the middle of the field, you have to be nervous for these Jaguars linebackers.
Yeah, you just said it, man. And I think that is by far the weakest spot on the Jaguars defense. And it's simply just because of, one, they haven't gotten consistent play. I mean, you got guys plugging in and out, whether it's, Najee Good had some spells. Donald Payne's in there now. Joe Giles Harris is in there. Leon Jacobs. They just haven't gotten consistent linebacker play. And, I mean, in the type of defense that they run, especially when they're in that base cover 2 shell, if your linebackers aren't playing, essentially the entire middle of the field is open, especially when your defensive line isn't getting any push. They're not dropping any DNs to pick up in the flats. I mean, the D line is coming after you. And if they're not getting pushed, if you don't have any linebackers, I'm sending wide receiver out, and I'm running, tight ends, I'm running running backs. Everything goes through the middle of the field. And that's a problem when opposing offenses can basically just attack the heartbeat of your defense. I mean, we've seen it. Every single running back we've played the past few weeks has essentially just gotten what they want at will. Yeah. And I think this is another one of those cases. If they cannot get good play from the linebacking position, they will lose this game by 5 straight games, 17 or more. Yeah. They will lose this game by 20 if they do not get consistent linebacker play.
Well, and let's quick talk about the other side of the line real quick. Let's talk about the offense. I mean, this offense has been anemic. They've been no-shows for the past couple games now. Gardner Minshew's got to put on a good addition here for that new coaching staff coming in. Their best target right now in offense, DJ Chark, best receiving target on offense, is out. Do you see another big Leonard Fournette game, or do we finally see kind of, Coach Flip basically just go, you know what? Here's the Porsche. Here's the keys. Don't crash it, but go have fun. I mean, are we to the point now where it's just like, we got nothing to play for? I'm not sure if I'm going to be here, but I'm at least going to give you the best chance to succeed. Have at it. Do you think that's going to happen against the Raiders?
I mean, I think you have to. I mean, I think that, obviously Leonard's going to get what Leonard's getting. If I'm Oakland, if I'm running the defense, I mean, would you not feel comfortable stacking 8 in the box and just saying, especially with DJ Chark being out and a Gardner Minshew's favorite target and seemingly top wide receiver, would you not feel comfortable saying, you know what, I'm I'm going to stack 8 in the box. We're going to hold everything right in front of us, and we're going to make those outside wide receivers beat us. And honestly, I think that's the way that they win this game. Somebody from the outside is going to have to step up, whether that be a bigger game from Conley or Westbrook tighten up or Keelan Cole come and make some catches.
Yeah.
And heck, we can even get Nick O'Leary or anybody. Someone else other than Leonard Fournette is going to have a good to great game for the Jaguars to have a chance at scoring points and winning this game.
Well, and that's kind of been the curse of the team, right? Where when your one receiver goes down, it's always nice to have that cushion at tight end to kind of throw to make some of those easy passes to. Well, unfortunately, right now you have a guy in Nick O'Leary who's been in Jacksonville for like 3-4 weeks now.
The newest tight end.
The newest tight end, yes. It's basically like a turnstile of tight ends, it feels like this year with the injuries and whatnot. But yeah, I think you have to get O'Leary going as well, or any guy that's going to play tight end for you. You have to look at him as well. When we get back, we talked about the Jaguars, the coaching staff changes coming up. What job intrigues you the most? Being an NFL coach, trying to find a new home. Where do you want to go and coach?
That's easy.
We'll talk about that next in ESPN 690.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Happy Friday. I'm Jake Mitchell. There's a shakeup in the Jags coaching staff. No, not that. Quarterback coach Scott Milenovich has announced his departure from the team to take a head coaching position for the CFL's Edmonton Eskimos. Milenovich will finish the season with the Jaguars. LSU quarterback Joe Burrow is taking home hardware before the playoffs. Heisman favorite won the Maxwell and the Davey O'Brien Awards last night. Joe is excited about winning, but he's more excited about the college football playoffs.
All the awards are nice, but I'm a game plan kind of guy, so I'm ready to get back into it.
And the Jacksonville Icemen are in town this weekend. They play the Orlando Solar Bears on Saturday. Puck drops at 7 p.m. This is the Guns N' Hoses game. Stay connected with ESPN 690 while you're at work by listening on ESPN690.com. The best kept secret in tires is TireOutlet.com. Tire Outlet offers wholesale prices with premium service, and TireOutlet.com always has a safety-first focus. With locations throughout the First Coast, there's no need to go anywhere else for tires and service.
The most wonderful time of the year deserves the most wonderful sale of the year. And for that, you got to go see Arlington Toyota, where you can still get huge Toyotathon savings and pay up to 50% less on remaining 2019s. With over 1,000 new and used on the lot every day, that's a whole lot of Toyotathon savings happening right now at Arlington. How about a 2019 Toyota Corolla? It's not $16,995. Now it's only $12,481. That's $12,481 for a pre-owned 2019 Toyota Corolla at Arlington. Gotta have a 2019 Toyota Tacoma? It's not $24,575. No way. Now it's just $28,991. Just $28,991 for a pre-owned 2019 Toyota Tacoma at Arlington. Plus, you're gonna get all the rewards and benefits of the Arlington Toyota $5,000 Advantage Club with your purchase. Toyotathon is on, but it won't last forever. Get in today and pay up to 50% less on remaining 2019s at Arlington Toyota. In person at 10939 Atlantic Boulevard and online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/Toyotathon for offer details.
Pop quiz. If you sell a home for $500,000, how much would a traditional real estate agent charge in commission? If you guessed $25,000 to $30,000, you're right. But if you think that's the only way, you're wrong. This is why thousands of homeowners are making the switch to Rex. With Rex, you get a dedicated agent and a full-service experience at a fraction of the cost. Rex uses game-changing technology to cut out the middleman and save homeowners tens of thousands of dollars in fees. See if you qualify by calling 833-REX-HOME. Remember, this is your home. Why give an insane amount of equity away to an agent? Rex offers the lowest fee in the industry without skimping on service. You'll work with an experienced real estate team with you every step of the way. Get the most out of your home. See if you qualify by calling 833-REX-HOME. 833-REX-HOME.
Florida, CQ 1057788.
Minimum fee may apply. Not licensed in all 50 states. Visit rexhomes.com to see if Rex is available in your area. Rex fully supports the principles of the Fair Housing Act and Equal Opportunity Act.
It's a celebration you won't want to miss. The 75th Tax Slayer Gator Bowl on Thursday, January 2nd, 7 p.m. at TIAA Bank Field. This year's matchup will feature a team from the SEC pitted against an opponent from either the ACC or Big Ten Conference. Let's fill the bank and pay tribute to 75 years of Gator Bowl history. Special anniversary offer includes 4 game tickets, a parking pass, and game program for only $75. Package is now on sale at TaxSlayerGatorBowl.com.
Through Travis Mallion Foundation's Operation Legacy Service projects, veterans, families of the fallen, and inspired civilians across the country come together under the common cause to serve in honor of our nation's heroes. Service projects include city beautifications, planting memorial trees, volunteering at shelters, park cleanups, and more. Register for a project near you or as a virtual volunteer by visiting oplegacy.org. That's oplegacy.org.
What's up, Jacksonville? Angie here, president of Angie Staffing. If you're finding it harder and harder to find the right candidates or your ads are letting you down, call me, Angie Staffing, 904-703-8880. I have over 20 years of experience right here in Jacksonville. I can help with anything, accounting, finance, legal, even that one position that's impossible to fill. Angie Staffing, 904-703-8880. We're bringing back the hustle.
It's time for some straight talk. You know those football players who are all talk, no show? Well, big wireless carriers aren't much different. Well, Straight Talk Wireless doesn't give you the hype, just the savings. For just $45 a month, you'll get the unlimited plan with 25 gigs of high-speed data, then 2G. No contract. All on the same 4G LTE networks as the big guys, but up to half the cost. Savings delivered right to your wallet. Only at Walmart. Savings may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
What did you buy Tasha for Christmas?
Cookbook.
Oh, fumble.
What do I do?
JCPenney's got you covered.
Your JCPenney associate will help you find something that sparkles as much as she does. Get up to 80% off fine jewelry Redbow deals. Or JCPenney Rewards members get your choice of a diamond, pendant, studs, or ring for $25 each. JCPenney. Offers valid 12/12 to 12/14. $25 diamond jewelry excluded from coupons and rewards. Other exclusions apply. See store or jcp.com for coupons and details.
Golic and Wingo.
I don't know if I've ever felt worse for a kid in the league than Josh Rosen, right? It's like deja vu for him. He's going through this all again. We may never know what Josh Rosen could or could not have been because of the two situations he's found himself.
Golic and Wingo. Weekdays at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
I know you guys write and all that kind of stuff. That's your job, but we got a job. But my job is not to read it. And that's the same thing we talk to our players about. You can only control what we got going on in this building.
Jaguars defensive coordinator Todd Wash kind of just telling it like it is. So I guess that means he doesn't listen to ESPN 690 radio, unfortunately.
Hey, that sound like it.
Well, which is a bummer because I thought we had a pretty good relationship going on. You know, I mean, I played for him a little bit, and I got nothing but respect for him. You know, as a grown man. Just for whatever reason this year, the Jaguars have really fallen off on defense. And when you're talking about the Jaguars defense, that was supposed to be their identity this year. And it just has not gone that way. So, I mean, to me, obviously, I think and anybody would agree with me here in Jacksonville, the writing is on the wall for you know, Coach Todd Wash and pretty much that whole coaching staff in general. And we'll see with the front office as well. Austin Lane joined today by Action Sports Jax Marcel Robinson, the Swagosaurus, if you will. Safe travels to Brent Martineau as he's flying out with the team to cover the Jaguars in Oakland, going to the Black Hole farewell game, I guess. Good luck to him. Hopefully he doesn't get hurt from some of those fans out there. They're crazy, but glad to be joined by Marcel Robinson today.
Yes, sir. Let's hopefully no bottles get thrown around the Black Hole.
Yeah.
Hopefully the Jaguars play better and make them want to throw bottles. I'd like that as an outcome. You know what I feel? Honestly, I feel like Brenton Stewart should take a bottle to the back, not the head because that's a little dangerous, to the back for us. Because I feel like if they take a bottle to the back, that means that the fans are angry.
Sure.
And they should be angry because the Jaguars need to go out there and get this W.
Yeah, but you got to understand, though, man, I feel like even if the Raiders dominate, I think the fans will still throw stuff.
Yeah,
like this is the last time there.
You're probably
like
right.
This is like, and I've been in a situation where, say you rent an apartment, okay, and this happened to me in college. All right, I rented an apartment in college. Me and 3 other roommates. We had 1 more month on the lease. What did we do the last month? We threw a giant going away party. We didn't care anymore. Hey, we didn't care anymore. Everything got checked out. I didn't have any other deposits to worry about. I'm like, oh. You're gonna give back my deposit? You're not gonna keep it? That's your loss. And we tore that place apart. Spoiler alert.
You got that letter?
Well, we can get a letter, but the floor might have been sunk a little bit because we threw that big of a party. So from that perspective, that's what I see happening from the Raiders fans, where either they're going to come out, they're going to play good football, they're going to win, and they're going to tear the place apart, or they're going to be so upset in traditional Oakland fashion where they're so upset where they're going to throw stuff as well. My only point is the fact that I'm a little bummed that Brent didn't offer me to come with just for a little security backup. Now, I wouldn't work that game. I would just be there in case things popped off a little bit.
See, that might have been a problem. I think we've got the security detail handled.
Yeah.
we got 53 guys wearing black and teal who I think have our backs.
I like your
while
style.
We're on the plane.
Well, speaking of 53 guys, we got to talk about who's going to be the new coach coming in next year to coach those 53 guys. And when we look around the NFL right now, and this is an interesting exercise that I did, I actually did this exact same exercise with Nick Foles. Basically what I did, and this was back when we were at for the Players Championship, I broke down the possible candidates for Nick Foles to land, and I broke down each one. I said, where do you think is the best spot? Like, if you're Nick Foles, where would you want to go? And Brett and I both agreed Jacksonville. Now, granted, there's only 3 teams that were possible at the time. There were the Broncos, the Dolphins, and the Jaguars.
Right.
Got any more brain busters? That was pretty easy. This one's going to be a little more tricky. And what we're going to do here is I'm going to say, hey, if you're a coach, either from college or you're trying to get, you're a former NFL coach trying to get back in the game, what job intrigues you the most? Now, we have to use our imaginations a little bit because not a lot of coaches have been fired yet. Really, the only guy that's been gone is Ron Rivera. But we're going to use our little imaginations here, and we're going to kind of predict listen, the writing's on the wall. These guys are going to be out. And what job is the most intriguing to you? So let's go down the list real quick of, well, at least where I think you would agree with me for the most part, of these coaching jobs will probably become available this year. First of all, we got Atlanta. The Falcons. I don't see Dan Quinn returning. Now, listen, they made a great effort towards the end of the season, but I think the writing's on the wall for Dan Quinn. I think Cleveland. And then that one I'm still kind of iffy on, but I think Freddie Kitchens, man, with the whole thing with Odell now, the team is underachieved like you wouldn't believe. You had all the pieces in line. This was supposed to be the year. Baker's playing bad. I can see Freddie Kitchens leaving. The Giants, obviously Pat Shurmur. And I think Pat Shurmur, listen, I think he's kind of the victim of a front office who didn't do any favors. And this is a guy who had a lot of injuries this year with Evan Ingram, Sterling Shepard, Golden Tate. You had a rookie quarterback in Daniel Jones. I get it. But I think Pat Shurmur's time's numbered. Dallas Cowboys, Jason Garrett. Detroit Lions, Matt Patricia, possibly. Obviously, the Jacksonville Jaguars, Doug Marrone. I'm going to say Adam Gase of the Jets. I think we kind of saw an implosion last night. The Chargers were kind of on the fence a little bit with Anthony Lynn, but I'm going to give Anthony Lynn the benefit of the doubt, and we're going to save the Chargers, and then we have the Redskins, and then obviously the Panthers now with Ron Rivera gone. So between Atlanta, Cleveland, New York, Dallas, Detroit, Jacksonville, the Jets, the Redskins, and the Panthers, give me your top 3, because you got to be honest here, and I get it. If you're a coach looking for jobs, I mean, you take what you can get. But some coaches are going to have the option of where to go. And if it's my criteria, and I'm going to get my list in a second, you got to keep in mind the quarterback. I think you have to keep in mind the draft capita. And you have to keep in mind of just the type of players that you have going forward. Is this going to be a rebuilding project, or are the pieces in line to try to make a run right away? Who do you got for your top 3 destinations here?
I think for me, it would probably start off, honestly, with Atlanta. And simply because I think – this is probably one of the worst years Atlanta's had, obviously, in recent memory. And I think that they have enough pieces to not necessarily make it a clean sweep. Like, it's not a project town, it doesn't seem like. Obviously, like we were just talking about, I think it very much depends on what stage of regression this year is from Matt Ryan. Is this kind of like, the outlier plateau before the slope, or is this the beginning of the slope? Because obviously we know that, especially in that particular division where you got Drew Brees and, if Cam returns back from Carolina, and who knows what Tampa's going to do with Jameis. But I feel like with the pieces they have around that offense, around whoever's playing quarterback, whether it's Matt Ryan or somebody else, I think they're good enough to still be viable on offense. Now, their defense is going to need some work, obviously. They've had a lot of injuries across the board at every level. But I feel like if you can get those guys back from injury and you can improve the offense, I feel like you have something to work with there. So that would be my number 1 team.
Okay. So if you're a coach, your number 1 destination right now, Marcel Robinson, you're trying to go to Atlanta.
I mean, just because, you have...
No, you're a Falcons fan, so let's throw that out there real quick.
I am.
Okay.
Now, I will say this objectively. I think if you have a top 5 player at any position,
it's a good point,
that can still play at a high level,
sure.
I think you're in a good spot. I mean, having Julio Jones there, Calvin really is a budding star. Austin Hooper is not necessarily the greatest tight end, but he is making progress, and he's playing pretty well. The running back position, Devontae Freeman can't really stay on the field, but they've got some guys behind him who can really play. And because of the injury to Julio and with Mohamed Sanu being traded away, I think some of these younger wide receivers in Atlanta have gotten some valuable PT and improved a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I just simply feel that because of out of all the teams that we named, they're really the only team that kind of has things in place, so to speak, from an organizational standpoint and actually, the team roster.
Okay. So Atlanta coming to number 1.
Number 2 for me, it's kind of tough. My 2 and 3 are kind of, sort of maybe 2 or 3. But for 2, I would say Cleveland, just because I think that they still have, some pieces in play there. Obviously, you don't know what's going to happen with Odell, but if you can keep Odell, you still got Odell, you've got Landry, you've got Chubb. You can find someone who can control Baker Mayfield.
Hopefully, Myles Garrett comes back.
Hopefully, Myles Garrett will be back.
Yeah.
They've got a pretty good nucleus.
They do. They have a solid tight end when healthy. David Njoku is a good tight end.
So
promising.
Just like the Atlanta job, I feel like you can come in there and you can just fine tune a few things and then kind of implement your system, and then you'll be okay. And thirdly, I say it's here, honestly, but I think it very much depends on what happens with the Coughlin situation, because I can't think of any coach who's established, or even one of these younger up-and-coming coaches who's going to want to come in and say, I want to do my things my way, I want to do it this way, and to be told no.
And that's a fantastic point. And we're going to cut the break here pretty soon, but I'll give my picks after the break when we come back. But when you talk about that, and whether the Jaguars go in a young direction or a seasoned vet, older culture, direction, unless that coach has ties to Tom Coughlin, I think it's going to be detrimental to your team to keep Tom Coughlin, because the last thing you want to do, if you're trying to come in and if you're trying to rebuild this franchise, you're trying to rebuild the house, you're trying to start the base and build the culture, the last thing you want to do is have someone say, you know what, you're doing it wrong. We should do it this way. We should do it this way. No, because I was brought here to do it my way. That's why I'm here. I'm trying to build the culture, and it doesn't work. Now, once again, if there's a connection or something like that, then you never know. But from that perspective, I think I agree with you. Tom Coughlin should be gone as well. So just so we're clear, Atlanta Falcons number 1. We got the Jacksonville Jaguars number 2, and the number 3 was?
No, number 2 is Cleveland.
Cleveland, I'm sorry.
Number 3 was the Jaguars. But, Ashley, if Coughlin does stay on, I would say Carolina.
All right, I got you. When we come back after this segment, I'm going to take my picks, the top 3 coaching destinations, and also addressing this team next year. I get it. We got a lot of time left, but we got to talk about where do the Jaguars start with this rebuild? What position first? We talk about it next on ESPN 690.
The Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugatz. Listen, I was focused on Masvidal, okay? As far as I'm concerned, it was just me and Masvidal on that stage together. I went up to The Rock, I saw him because he asked me, how's Dan doing? And I responded, personal matters, he'll be back a week from Monday.
You want more from the Dan Le Batard Show? Check out the podcast, wherever you get your podcast.
Hey, boss, I could sure use some cheering up. Hey, do one of your holiday poems for me, would you?
All right, how about this one? 'Twas the week before Christmas, and all through the town, Safe Touch was gone. They were nowhere to be found.
Oh, I like it already.
The do-it-yourself alarms, just as simple as pie, claim to be good, but crooks know it's a lie.
Yeah, we do.
No more stressing about Safe Touch's response guarantee, 'cause the do-it-yourself alarms don't have one, you see?
Do-it-yourself alarms have no response guarantee?
And that's why it's plain to see that the Crooks Are Us rule reminds us every day staying away from Safe Touch houses is the price we gotta pay.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
When the time comes to get your roof replaced, call Big Fish Roofing. We don't require any upfront deposits, and we are locally owned and operated by Jacksonville natives who have built their business on quality and integrity. At Big Fish Roofing, we know your roof is the first line of defense against the elements, so we make sure to deliver a quality project in a timely manner. You can find us at bigfishroofing.com or facebook.com/bigfishroofing, or give us a call at 904-685-8334.
If you're buying diamond jewelry this holiday season and you haven't shopped Beard's Diamonds yet,
stop before you pay too much.
Now through Christmas, you'll save an extra 20% off Beard's already guaranteed low prices, including loose diamonds. 20% off all diamond engagement rings, from solitaires to halos. 20% off all diamond bracelets, necklaces, and more.
Plus, get special financing, but only at Beard's Diamonds through December 24th in the St. John's Town Center.
Or at beardsdiamonds.com.
At Action News Jax, we're here for severe. When storms threaten, put your trust in the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Team, led by Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish, rated the most accurate for the last 13 years.
The First Alert Weather Team is the only team of certified meteorologists in the Jacksonville area. That means we have the most schooling and training to forecast and predict severe weather, and that experience will keep you safe from a storm.
Action News Jax First Alert Weather on CBS 47 and Fox 30.
Are your sales sluggish? Does your business feel flat? Give it a boost of natural energy with a sponsorship at the Jax Health and Fitness Expo on February 22nd at the Morocco Shrine. Put your business in front of thousands of health and fitness-conscious consumers looking for ways to enhance their health. Kick off 2020 with a bang at the Jax Health and Fitness Expo on February 22nd. Space is going fast, so book yours today at 245-8596 or visit BeHealthyJax.com. Call 245-8596, BeHealthyJax.com.
Tedeschi Trucks with St. Paul and the Broken Bones and Gabe Dixon are coming to Daly's Place June 26, 2020. You can win a free pair of tickets this week from ESPN690. To register, go to the contest tab on ESPN690.com. See Tedeschi Trucks live with ESPN690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Hi, this is Annika Sorenstam, and I'm a World Golf Hall of Famer, and you're watching Action Sports Jax.
You know, he's obviously going to get more and more reps as the season goes on and stuff like that. So, you know, we want to see the fundamentals and those kind of things improve as we go. And, you know, he's been working hard in practice, and I think we will see that.
That's Todd Wash talking about Josh Allen, who's been kind of one of the very lone bright spots this year of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and one of the very few things on this team right now that kind of offers you some hope going forward in rebuilding a new team, because that's where we're at now. You know, you're gonna have to start from the base and build back up. And anytime I can't stand the word rebuilding, because immediately I'm tied to, well, if you're rebuilding, then you're immediately out of playoff contention for the next 3 or 4 years, right? Because you have to rebuild. And I'm not trying to make a case for the Jaguars that we're going to be good next year, because we have no idea. But at least going forward, you have a guy like Josh Allen who you can put guys around, right? Like Josh Allen has shown that he's only going to get better. It's like I've been very adamant about, even when in preseason. This is a guy who right now is relying on his athleticism and his God-given abilities. When he starts to develop his techniques, and it's not going to come as a rookie, it takes time. You know, it's working your pass rush moves a little bit. It's working your hand placement. It's working your footwork. When Josh Allen gets all that down, which should be next season, because I always say, Marcel, you make your most progress from your first season going into your second season. And when we see Josh Allen next year, man, I mean, if this guy's not a Pro Bowler next year, and I'll put my name on it right now, something's going to be up, because I have that much confidence that he's only going to get better and better and better going forward.
Oh, no, 100%. That kid is freaking good.
Yeah.
I mean, just to see, obviously, how massive of a human he is, and just to see how much speed he has going around the edge, or even swim moves coming up underneath. I mean, he can only get better. I mean, physically, I think he's got all the tools. I think it's just like you said, once he figures out when to use certain, weapons in his armory, I think he's going to be a problem.
Exactly. Well, if you could listen to us the last segment, we're trying to break down what teams have the most intrigue. If you're a head coach in the NFL right now, or you're trying to be a head coach in the NFL, what team do you want to go to? And I get it. Using our imaginations a little bit here as a point where we're assuming these guys are going to be gone. And the teams that we have on our list right now is Dan Quinn from Atlanta Falcons, Freddie Kitchens from the Cleveland Browns, Pat Shurmur from the New York Giants, Jason Garrett from the Dallas Cowboys, Matt Patricia maybe from the Detroit Lions, obviously Doug Marrone from the Jacksonville Jaguars, Adam Gase from the Jets, Anthony Lynn, we think is going to be safe from the Chargers. Bill Callahan from the Redskins, and then obviously Ron Rivera is already gone. So from that perspective, and now it's time to give my top 3 things. Say I'm a coach, and I'm looking to get my toes back in the pool of coaching, whether I'm coming from college or I've already established myself as a great coach in the NFL. Where am I looking? And then the first thing that I talked about is the quarterback. To me, the quarterback, obviously, it's the most important position. So if I'm a head coach right now and I'm breaking these teams down, that's the first thing that I see. I see the Jacksonville Jaguars. I see Nick Foles and Gardner Minshew. Minshew intrigues me. I see, like you mentioned, the Atlanta Falcons and Matt Ryan. I like Matt Ryan. On the list right now, he's probably, of all these spots, or him or Dak Prescott, I would say he's probably the most legit quarterback still remaining when playing well. But you have to wonder, is he on the back 9 of his career? How many years does he have left? So my top pick, if I'm a head coach right now in the NFL, or if I'm trying to be a head coach in the NFL of where I'm going to go, I'm going Dallas Cowboys all day. And to me, it's a no-brainer. And I take no pride in saying that because the last thing I want to do, being a former player myself, is coach the Dallas Cowboys. But the way I see it right now with Dak Prescott really coming into his own, and I get it. He's been a roller coaster this year, right? I mean, he started off really strong, and now he's kind of hit those peaks and valleys a little bit. We don't really know that Dak Prescott's, if he's going to be the man or not. And this is a guy that's going to get that new contract. So you have to worry about that as a new coach coming in. But to me, it's the Dallas Cowboys. You have a pretty solid offensive line. You have Ezekiel Elliott, one of the best running backs in the game. You have Amari Cooper, one of a very solid wide receiver. So the Dallas Cowboys, to me, are number 1 on the list, and obviously it's the tradition as well, right? Like you have Jerry Jones at your disposal. This guy is willing to spend as much money as it takes to win a Super Bowl. So from my perspective, if I'm a coach, I like the Dallas Cowboys job. Numero dos, I'm going with the Carolina Panthers. All due respect to your Atlanta Falcons, I like the Panthers now. I know what you're saying. Quarterback. And I don't know. Is Kyle Allen the answer?
That's my question.
I don't think so. Cam Newton more likely will probably be gone. We'll see. But I think the problem that Ron Rivera, and I have a lot of respect for Ron Rivera. Obviously, he's a defensive-minded coach, a guy after my own heart. And I think Ron Rivera was directly tied to Cam Newton. And Cam Newton, all things considered, he was that dual-threat quarterback. But, man, he had some rough seasons. And a lot of that's to do with injuries as well. But the Panthers only went as far as Cam Newton allowed them to go, even though the Panthers had a solid defense.
Right.
And I think if I'm looking at the pieces right now, the culture is obviously put in place. Luke Kuechly at middle linebacker. You have a promising secondary. Bradbury is starting to come on into his own as one of the most legit corners in the NFL right now. And obviously Christian McCaffrey, man. I could stand back there, give the ball to Christian McCaffrey, and at least we're going to put up, maybe 20 points a game, maybe 25 points a game, whatever it is. So the Panthers are number 2. And surprisingly, my number 3 pick right now of coaching destinations is actually the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay? And this is assuming that Gardner Minshew balls out his last few games here. But I think Jacksonville, with their draft capital, with Gardner Minshew, and I hope they, when they rebuild this team, they do it like the San Francisco 49ers did, where they started with the defensive line and then they worked outward, right? Yep. Because the games, I get it, it's a high-powered offense now and it's a quarterback-driven league, but do not get it twisted. The game of football is still won and lost in the trenches. And I think that if they can focus on those few things a couple of years, well, then the rest will take care of itself. So the Jacksonville Jaguars are my 3rd pick. So it's the Cowboys, Panthers, and Jacksonville Jaguars. When we come back, I think we're going to have Action News Jax John Bachman joining us here in the hour. Also getting into some more headlines around the NFL. And coming up a little later, we're going to do our Christmas letters to Santa. And we're going to ask Santa to give us some things in the sports world, the Jaguars, and other things related as well. It's all coming up on ESPN 690.
Trust, tradition, and quality. A winning combination to feel good about your home. Sometimes it's just that time to replace your roof. Or maybe you need to fix your roof after a recent storm. Hey everybody, it's Brent Martin of Action Sports Jacks. And there are so many roofing companies in the area. But which one can you trust? Let me tell you about my friends at Jack C. Wilson Roofing Company. Trust a family-owned business with owners that grew up right here in Jacksonville. Talk to the owners directly. Get free estimates. And you can trust Jack C. Wilson Roofing to walk you through each step of the process. Tradition? Jack C. Wilson is a name you know. The longest-standing roofing company in Northeast Florida. They have been repairing and replacing asphalt shingle roofs since 1946. How about quality? A roof you will tell your neighbors about. Quality from start to finish, shingle by shingle. You can request a free estimate at jackcwilsonroofing.com. It's the first name in Jacksonville roofing. And make sure you let them know Brent Martineau sent you. Tax problems can be extremely stressful and cause financial devastation. The tax attorneys at J. David Tax Law are right here in Jacksonville to be your personal advocate and resolve your IRS or state sales tax issues. J. David Tax Law focuses on your needs and case outcomes. Don't be fooled by these big out-of-town tax companies that only focus on getting you to sign up and pay without even working with an attorney. At J. David Tax Law, only highly experienced tax attorneys will represent you. Get the help you need with tax debt, payroll taxes, bank levies, wage garnishments, tax liens, and unfiled returns. If you have federal or state sales tax debt, have a sit-down with J. David Tax Law. Your first step is a no-cost consultation. Call J. David Tax Law at 904-507-4777, 904-507-4777. Peace of mind only a click or phone call away, 904-507-4777, or go to jdavidtaxlaw.com.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores while supplies last. Offer ends 12/31/19.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Just 2 days after tweeting an inappropriate word to a fan on Twitter, Giants cornerback Janoris Jenkins is cut today. Steelers wideout Juju Smith-Schuster is out for Sunday night against the Bills. Smith-Schuster aggravated a knee injury in Thursday's practice. He says there's no timetable for his return. Lamar Jackson of the Ravens now holds the NFL's single-season quarterback rushing record, surpassing Michael Vick. ESPN's Keyshawn Johnson compares Vick and Jackson.
One guy is like a Ferrari. The other guy is like a Porsche. They both can hug the road, but one is maybe just a little bit better, and that one little bit better is Lamar Jackson.
Clippers guard Lou Williams is out for tonight's game against the Timberwolves with a sore right calf. That game is the second half of our ESPN doubleheader that tips off at 7 Eastern with the Lakers and the Heat in Miami. Day 3 underway at the President's Cup with Team USA trailing 6.5 to 3.5.
Coming up on Monday, we'll recap Bills Steelers as well as all of the Week 15 NFL action, what it means for the playoffs going forward. Plus, are we going to punt or play on your team? And on Monday night, it's Colts Saints. We'll look ahead Monday on Go Look and We Go, 6 Eastern, ESPN Radio, ESPN2.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN690, a Cox Media Group station. Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30. Action Sports Jags.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jags on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
You know, one of the things that I said the other day, I'm under a lot of confidence out there. You know, so we got to work on that, and that happens like I think Mark and I were talking about. You know, you gain confidence by winning games, and we're not doing that.
Jaguars head coach Doug Marrone. Yeah, you sure do gain confidence when you win games.
You lose it when you lose, too.
Yeah, and I think the same could be said for the Jaguars fans as well, is when you start losing the games, well, guess what? You start losing attendance a little bit because why? You lose the confidence. And right now I would say I sit here on December 13th, 2019. Has your confidence ever been lower for the Jacksonville Jaguars, Marcel Robinson?
Absolutely not. As Stuart and I were driving into the game this past week against the Chargers, we were coming across the bridge with no traffic, and I said, I don't think we actually came to a complete stop until we got to the stadium. And I said to him, actually maybe before we even left the building, I said, I don't think I've ever felt so low about like coming to the game than I do right now, this very moment. It was just kind of like, all right, let's go ahead and get this knocked out.
Yeah.
And me, I love football. I'm
of
always
course,
pumped.
man. You're
I'm
all
always
about
pumped.
it.
We go out there and get beat 45-0 here. I don't care. It was fun.
Yeah.
But it was just like, man, can we just get something different today? Like
So from your perspective, and you're a guy who's covered the Jaguars for a while now, and like you said, you're a very passionate individual, and that's why you're so good at your job. You know, from your perspective, though, would you say that, I guess, just the loss of faith, just the kind of, I guess, nihilistic attitude where you don't really care anymore, to be honest with you, does it come from more of the fact that this team's been a disappointment this year? Or does it come because the expectations are pretty high? I think everyone was at least talking about an 8-8 season, if not better, at least, a contention to go to the playoffs. Do you say it's more of the disappointment of that, or do you think it's just the disappointment of getting blown out by 20-something points every single game the past 5 games now?
I mean, I think it's that. I think it's how bad they've been losing. I mean, look, we last year was pretty bad after the rebounding year, 2017. There was no rebound. Last year was not great. And they come into this year with so many expectations of, the Nick Foles thing and, hey, they got this figured out. It seems like we got some pieces. We filled some holes. And then just the way it's just been one thing after another this season. From the first snap or the first offensive drive when Nick Foles breaks his collarbone to that same game when it was about 1,000,000 degrees and the truck's breaking down and then just the whole Jalen Ramsey thing. And now the team's getting, beat. And then, of course, Minshew comes in. It's like, oh, okay, this is a little, all right, we got a little something.
There's a little hope. It's something to cheer for.
And then, of course, right back, and it's very much so like a
one game, it seems like, right?
It's like, oh, here we go again. And I think just the way they've been losing because it's so, it's such a familiar feeling from before. And I think fans and people in the organization and media members have felt the same. Like, oh, I thought we were past that. Like, I thought that stage of coming out here and getting beat like a Pop Warner team, I thought we were past that. And it's just so hard for people to comprehend. Like, 2 years ago we were good, we were great.
Yeah.
Last year we weren't good, but
at least you had the excuses of the injuries.
Yeah, you had injuries.
Right? Leonard Fournette was out. Your offensive line was in shambles. You had excuses.
And coming in, everyone said this is the year. You look at the schedule, there's a whole bunch of winnable games. Most people had them pegged to go between 7-9 and 9-7. And then you look back and you're like, whoa.
And I even found it funny too because I was campaigning even when the schedule first came out. I said I bet the second half of the season will be a lot harder than the first, and everyone was like, "Well, that's not true. You're playing the Saints, and you got to go on these road games and everything. Like you have more of your division opponents at the end, and the Chargers, yeah, they're a decent team. Well, now turns out they're not that good, but." I thought the back end of the schedule was going to be the rough one, and that's where the Jaguars are having the most trouble right now. And I think you said it perfectly, man. I mean, my expectations for this team, it was 8-8. I think when Brent and I gave our predictions, I was right in the middle, and I said they might be looking at a playoff berth there if everyone can stay healthy. Well, everyone for the most part has stayed healthy. And yes, there's been a few injuries here or there, and obviously your starting quarterback got hurt the first game of the season. That's catastrophic, but guess what? You didn't really skip a beat because you had a guy that replaced him in Gardner Minshew that was still a very serviceable quarterback, if not even a better than a serviceable quarterback. So you didn't really have any excuses. And I was adamant about this about 4 weeks ago, and I'm sticking by my statement. I think this is the most disappointing season in Jaguars history for all the reasons that you named. For Telvin Smith opting not to play football this year. From the whole Jalen Ramsey fiasco, you ended up losing your best player on defense. From the perspective, you've been getting blown out by 15-plus points for the past 5 games. From all those things, and a team that we're sitting here December 13th, and we don't know this team's identity. And you know what? The sad thing is, I'll be honest, this team this year will not have an identity. We're going to look back on this season and be like, what were they good at? What were they about? I don't know. They were about staying healthy, but what did that matter? Nothing. So to me, it's the most disappointing season as far as when I've been around. I think in the early 90s, they had a lot of success. So there wasn't a lot of disappointing seasons there. And this is coming from a guy who played on a Jaguars team that won 2 games. And that was rough itself. But you could have a couple excuses from that season. You threw in a young quarterback who may not have been ready to play. You don't have that excuse of the Jacksonville Jaguars because Minshew showed that he can play in this league. So, in my opinion, by far the most disappointing season. So we're talking about the most disappointing season. Obviously, that comes with draft capital, number one. And number two, it talks about changes being made. And we can all agree the coaching staff here will not be here next year. Okay? And more than likely, I think the front office, whether it's Dave Caldwell, whether it's Tom Coughlin, I think they're all going to be gone too. So you're looking at a fresh slate, a clean slate. And if we're going to break this down, and I get it, and this is another sad thing, Marcel. There's 3 games to go in the season, and I'm already talking about what do you do to make it better for next season. But we're to this point now. I could sit here and break down the Jaguars and why people should turn in to watch them, but I'm not going to lie to people. I'm going to say watch Gardner Minshew. Hopefully he can keep his starting spot going into next season, and that's about it. Watch Leonard Fournette, maybe do his thing, earn that Pro Bowl. But besides that, man, it's not a lot of stuff to be positive about. And I get it. I'm not the most positive guy, but that's more Brent Martineau's job. But I'm not just going to cling to some straws that aren't even there. I'm not going to BS people on the radio. So from that perspective, going forward, going into next season, going into this draft, what do you got to do to fix this thing? And I guess my question to you, Marcel, is where do you start? What position do you start with first?
I mean, honestly, I think me and you, we have the same mindset. The game is won and lost in the trenches on both sides.
Yeah.
And I would say, for me personally, and I know it's not the sexiest of picks, I know it's not what the Jaguars faithful want to hear because we say this every single year, you have to start by finding some answer for that offensive line. I mean, it's one of those things where if you can't score points, you can't win.
Yeah.
And if you can't protect, your quarterback to give him enough time to find an open receiver, or you can't block for your running back, he has to make his own holes, then you can't score points. And at that point, then your defense is going to break at some point. If your defense gives up 7 points and you score 0, you lose.
Well, and it's funny because the dialogue last year and then the storylines last year going in the draft was obviously there was rumors that they're looking at Jonah Williams from Alabama, right? Like he was the top tackle. He was a swing guy. He could play him at both positions, but he was the dude. Now, Juwan Taylor, there's some rumors that he'd go first round too. Luckily, he followed the Jaguars in the second round. So be it. But I was the guy on the show saying, no, Jonah Williams, absolutely not. You know why? Maybe he's a good tackle. We don't know yet because he got hurt in training camp.
Right.
So we don't know what he's capable of yet. But I was the guy like, no, that's not a sexy pick. The pieces are in place right now. Let's go after a receiver. Let's go after a tight end. Well, Josh Allen fell to him, and I'm not mad at that pick whatsoever. I don't think any Jaguars fan is mad at that pick. But I'm the guy that I want to go sexy, man, because we're all set up. Offensive tackle, yeah, sure, whatever. But no, we're good. Well, now here we are. And that has to be addressed as well. If it's me personally, and I agree with you, it has to be rebuilt through the trenches first and then move outward. I think the San Francisco 49ers did a great job of that. The 49ers did that without even having a quarterback. When that was all put in place, what did they do? Then they got Jimmy Garoppolo. They said, Jimmy, come play for us. We have the pieces for you now. Let's be successful together. And guess what? They're pretty damn successful right now. Time will tell. If it's me, and I get your point, offensive tackle, and assuming it's going to be a top 10 pick, obviously, or you pick him in the later rounds, the later first round, I'm going defensive tackle first. Calais Campbell, we'll see. This is a guy who's, let's be honest, he's showed a kind of a slower step this year. I think he's lost a little bit. And I think going forward with whoever you bring in as a new regime, it starts in the trenches and it starts on defensive line and defensive tackle. I know it's deep, but there's some talented defensive tackles out there in the first round that I can see playing for the Jacksonville Jaguars. You have the bookends, which is very rare. You have Yannick Ngakoue, pay him, and you have Josh Allen. Now, tighten that stuff up a little bit with another legit defensive tackle. When we come back, we got Action News Jax. John Bachman joining us.
Johnny B.
Talk all things sports, maybe some Jaguars. We'll talk about who the Vikings playing this week. We'll get into that a little bit later here on ESPN690.
That's gonna Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau on ESPN690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the first alert forecast on ESPN690.
Partly to at times, mostly cloudy with scattered showers today, but mild temperatures will reach the mid-70s. Join me beginning at 5 p.m. for CBS 47 Action News Jax from the First Alert Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where now through December 24th, you get 20% off everything in the store, including loose diamonds, only at Beard's Diamonds.
The holidays are on the horizon, and that means family and food. Hey, everybody, I'm Brent Martineau. Let Renna's Pizza help you out. Parties at school, parties at work, celebrations, or hey, maybe you're just tired of cooking yourself. Renna's has you covered with 5 locations in Northeast Florida. Want a fresh one? Renna's makes everything fresh. New York-style pizza, sandwiches, salads, pasta dishes, everything fresh. Find out why Renna's has been a family favorite for over 40 years. 5 locations in Northeast Florida, Marsh Landing, Bay Meadows, Argyle Forest, San Jose, and the newest location in Neptune Beach. It's holiday time, so treat yourself to some golf or give the gift of golf. Hey everyone, this is Brent Martineau. The Golf Club at Southampton is one of the most fun tracks to play in the area. And it's very affordable. It's the home of the Action Sports Jax Dream 18 as well. Go to golfsouthampton.com for tee times, gift cards, and gift packages. There are 9 different options to choose from. It's the perfect gift. The gift of golf at Southampton this holiday season. Visit golfsouthampton.com.
It's a celebration you won't want to miss. The 75th Tax Slayer Gator Bowl on Thursday, January 2nd, 7 p.m. at TIAA Bank Field. This year's matchup will feature a team from the SEC pitted against an opponent from either the ACC or Big Ten Conference. Let's fill the bank and pay tribute to 75 years of Gator Bowl history. Special anniversary offer includes 4 game tickets, a parking pass, and game program for only $75. Package is now on sale at TaxSlayerGatorBowl.com.
Men, are the effects of hypertension, diabetes, or prostate cancer preventing you from having a satisfying love life? In just one visit, the doctors at Prime Men's Medical Center can help you overcome ED or PE to regain your confidence and have you last longer in the bedroom. Name brand pills don't work for many men and can have serious side effects. The highly skilled physicians at Prime Men's Medical Center provide custom blended medications that are safe, effective, and work immediately, regardless of your medical history or age. You'll see results on your first visit, guaranteed, or your consultation is free. So, if you have problems in the bedroom, call now for a private consultation. One call, one visit, one simple solution to regain your love life. Call Prime Men's Medical Center now at 904-206-8105. 904-206-8105. That's 904-206-8105.
Hey everybody, Trey Wingo here from Golic and Wingo. Thanks for making ESPN 690 the fastest growing sports station in Jackson. It's clear Northeast Florida has great taste in radio. I mean, you're listening to me every morning, right? Join the ESPN 690 team and get your business notice today. The First Coast is making the switch to ESPN 690, and there's no better time to get your business in front of them. Call ESPN 690 today, 245-8732. That's 245-8732. Grow your business today on the new ESPN 690.
See, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
How have binoculars and just the general discomfort that comes with using binoculars, how have we not improved that?
The Dan Le Batard Show with the Stuttgarts on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
Hey, I'm Jay DeMarcus from Rascal Flats, and this is Action Sports Jax.
Whenever I was around Coach Madden, I was always like, man, this is the guy that had the video games growing up, you know? So when I met Coach Madden for the first time, that was a pretty surreal experience for me. You know, obviously Coach Flores, you know, still is involved in the organization a lot and is around a lot. So that was a really neat experience. And honestly, probably the best of all was, I call him Coach Davis, but when Al Davis was alive. You know, just being around him as a 27, 28, 29-year-old guy that's getting your foot in the league and it was your first position job. It's just, it was an unbelievable experience to be around him.
Jaguars offensive coordinator John DeFilippo talking about some of his idols in the coaching game. Joined by Action Sports Jax, Marcel Robinson. And listen, in the 5 o'clock hour, we're going to share our basically our letters to Santa of what we want to happen in sports. You know, we've all been good boys here, so hopefully we can see some of these things come to fruition. Brent Martineau is traveling to Oakland right now to cover the Jaguars, but he may also be asking Santa Claus for a gift because Marcel Robinson has proceeded to take Brent Martineau's microphone, unscrew it, and pretty much break it, and now he's holding it in his hand like, I don't know, like you're like a DJ or something, I guess.
I mean, it can be reassembled. I just, unscrew here, knock there. I'll fix it before he gets back.
Take us through the thought process here, because for those that are just listening at home and not watching, the way I have it set up is I have like the traditional radio setup where I have it's like an arm coming across my computer screen. So I feel like I'm Howard Stern, right? I can rotate, I can shift, I can do a lot of things, and I can sit back and be casual. It's what I'm all about, man. You have to be casual. Brent opted, for whatever reason, I think it's for the fact that when we have guests in the studio, like Action News Jax John Bachman joining us right now, when we have guests in the studio, I guess it's kind of hard to see over the arm. So Brent opted to take the arm off and go with a more old school setup where it's just like this tripod thing sitting on a, what do you call that? Just a stand?
It's the Johnny Carson stand.
Yeah.
It's the Johnny Carson stand. It's great. I love the classic look that Brent has over there. And now Marcel, listen, I don't mean to interrupt your train of thought.
No, you're good,
but
man.
I tweeted out a picture just now, Bachman A and Jax, because what I am looking at right now is one of a kind.
He's comfortable.
He's got his mirror shades on,
Very
even
casual.
though we're indoors.
That's
I
not a
mean,
big
I know
deal.
these fluorescents are wild and crazy. He's got his full-on earbud things going, whatever, the headphones, and then he's just casually laid back, holding this broken microphone by the cord, just chill, not even holding it straight on. It's just kind of half there. It's kind of like, how's it going?
I mean,
I'm Marcel Robinson.
I just feel like, if I'm going to do this, I got to be me.
Okay, but now let's be honest, though. Yes, you look very cool right now. I'm kind of jealous, not going to lie. You look very cool, but your arm's going to get tired. So you're immediately going to regret that decision of breaking that mic stand. Oh, just wait.
No.
We still have another hour and a half to go on the show. Good luck with that.
Cool comes with a cost.
I like that.
Beauty
That's a
is
quote
pain.
right there. Beauty is pain. I like his better, but no offense to you. Okay,
I just wish I could pull that off. Let's be honest.
But we're joined by Action News Jax here, John Bachman, and you heard in the segment John DeFilippo talking about some of his idols, in the coaching trees and things of that nature. And I guess a question for both you guys here is, and John, you follow football. You're an Iowa guy. You're a Minnesota Vikings guy.
Yep.
Marcel, Falcons guy, but obviously cover the Jaguars now. I guess as far as coaching heroes, alive or deceased, who would you guys want to just, sit down and have a lunch with or something and just kind of pick the brains a little bit?
Oh, man. Well, I've got a lot of, greats. You just mentioned the Vikings and the Hawkeyes, of course. I've had the pleasure of meeting Hayden Fry back in the day.
Yeah.
Ferentz, obviously legendary, both those guys, right? And then, of course, Minnesota Vikings, Bud Grant, right? I mean, all these great. But I would love to have lunch with Bill Belichick. And who wouldn't, right?
Yeah.
Like, now, he would never be able to separate. Like, for me, it would be fun to be off the record, right?
Of course.
He would never have an off the record.
Yeah, I was going to say, there is no off record with Bill Belichick.
He would never do it. So my idea of an awesome lunch would probably be miserable because he would never do what I would hope for him to do, which is to just be the actual Bill Belichick, not the guy who says, we're looking forward to Cincinnati.
Well, I guess here's where you have to catch him, and this is kind of the Nick Saban effect. You have to hope that Bill Belichick wins a Super Bowl, and right after, like the next day, you ask him to lunch. Because then I feel like whenever Belichick wins a Super Bowl, like you kind of see this guy who's smiling a little bit, and he's more of himself.
No, you know what? Not by the next day, he's
done.
He is on to Cincinnati.
He's
I'm
on
telling
the
you,
preseason.
especially with the media, man. No way. Now, maybe with you because you're a player and you're in that fraternity.
Yeah.
I think you could probably get him to crack a little bit more, but not with me. Are you kidding me? He'd see me coming a mile away, and it'd be like, no way.
I got you.
But I will say, speaking of the Falcons, too, I had the pleasure of knowing a little bit Dan Reeves. Yeah. As if he's not with it. Of course, he's still around. I just mean I'm not up there anymore, but when I was in Atlanta, I got to know him a little bit. One of the greatest, nicest guys around, by the way, there, Marcel.
That's awesome. Well, and also you're friends with Sean McVay as well. Sean McVay, you pretty much
qualifies me for maybe taking over the Jags job, right?
I mean, I feel like as long as you're Facebook friends with him, your money to be the head coach in some kind of aspect. Yeah. Exactly. At least an offensive coordinator.
It's worked for
at least an offensive coordinator position. Come on now.
I mean, seriously.
I think it's a fair assessment.
Who you got real quick?
It's funny for me that it's probably going to come way out of left field, but for me, it would be Coach K.
Okay. Yeah.
Just because for me, and I had the opportunity to meet him, which has been well documented. We exchanged words.
Same with me. I met him too. We both shared our stories. Yours is a little cooler than mine was.
Still, one of my biggest regrets, probably of my entire career, was not shaking the hand of my all-time favorite basketball coach as he walked 2 feet in front of me.
Yeah.
But just for me, just because I grew up, playing basketball way before I started playing football, and just kind of always fell in love with the Duke program, like all the players that he's had come through there and all the basketball that he knows about. I just give me an hour, just pick your brain about it. Just tell me about some stories. Tell me about some guys. Tell me about, the Jay Williams back in the day. What was he like at Duke?
Sure.
I just think, and he just seems like he's just a chill guy. Like he seems like he wears sunglasses indoors.
Coach K? Yeah, okay.
Okay. Now be honest though. So say Coach K comes to ESPN690 studio.
I'm shaking his hand immediately.
Well, here's the question though. Are you going for the handshake or are you going for the selfie? Because I know you and I see what you're wearing right now.
Oh no, I had to get the handshake.
You're going to take a selfie with him and post on Instagram.
I mean, after the handshake, but I get the handshake first. You don't understand.
If you had the option of one, what would you do? Handshake or selfie?
Handshake.
Only one.
Handshake.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
I don't think you understand. Out of my entire career, that is by far my one biggest regret. As he walked by, you guys have a safe trip back, Coach.
Yep.
You too, thanks. And like that, half a second as he walked by felt like an hour. It was like, do it. Do it.
I have 2 Duke basketball stories to tell. Can I tell them both very quickly?
You have time, man.
Right, first of all, because I worked in Raleigh for 4 years.
Yeah.
So I covered the Duke UNC games every year. It was news. I mean, in that area, that's news, not just sports.
It's news everywhere.
I got there early during one of these games and stumbled into Cameron. Innocently stumbled in during a closed-door practice. And I'm telling you it was innocently because it really was. I didn't know what I was doing. I was new, and I stumbled in, and I'm like, oh, I am not supposed to be here right now. I was so scared.
Sure.
I got out of there fast. Thankfully, Coach K did not yell at me. I thought he was going to. I beelined it out. I don't know if he saw me. Oh, I'm sure he would have.
Yeah.
But,
awesome.
Krzyzewskiville is crazy, right?
Yeah.
So here's what I'll say. You can love or hate Duke, totally fine.
Yeah.
But you have got to respect the Cameron crazies because I was there when Roy Williams came back to Carolina. He was at Kansas for a long time, came back to his alma mater of Carolina. And the first game that he coached the Carolina basketball team back at Cameron Indoor Stadium, I was there for that game. And the Cameron crazies, you know what they did? They knew exactly where the visitors' bus was going to pull up in the little roundabout to walk the walkway down into the visitors' locker room, right?
Little gamesmanship coming at you.
So you know what they did? They lined that sidewalk with paper, yellow paper, gold paper, and colored in bricks as the yellow brick road. And then then they lined the yellow brick road with Wizard of Oz characters. There were Dorothys, there were lions, there were Tin Mans, one of my favorite scarecrows. And they were all along that walkway. The team and Roy Williams had no other option to get to the locker room than to walk down the yellow brick road. And they all held signs up that says, Roy, you're not in Kansas anymore.
Oh, man.
It was awesome.
Troll level.
And you know what? I can't even remember who won that game. I can't remember. You have to go back and look what that game was. I don't recall who won that game, but if I had to guess,
tell you what,
it was
Duke fans won that game regardless.
Yes, they won the game for sure.
And I'll let you, get to the stories at hand here in a second, but I will say this about the Duke Blue Devils, and I get it. You got the Christian Leitners, right? Even Grayson Allen, the Jacksonville zone, who I thought played lacrosse when I first met him, but I was way off. Have you ever heard that story?
No.
John? So
we used to train referencing how he plays basketball.
So we used to train at the same gym when I was in the off season.
Okay.
And I heard he had a scholarship. So I go, oh, dude, you're going to Duke? He's like, yeah, full ride. I'm like, very cool. And he was still in high school at the time. I go, lacrosse? And he goes, no. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, soccer, right? And he goes, no.
Try again.
And he's like, basketball. I'm like, oh, like a.
He let you off the hook.
Well, no, because I had no idea who this kid was. All right. So he said basketball. I'm like, okay, so it must be an academic scholarship, and you're walking on. But then don't get me. Hey, so I was judging book by its cover, and that's my bad, Brett. Hey, I called you Brett. John, that's my bad. But guess what? Then we went to the gym, and I saw him dunk a basketball. I'm like, of course.
Oh, that's it.
But of course.
That's it.
Now I
I see why.
Basketball is a basketball hotbed, too. I thought it was only football, so there you go. But the thing about Coach K, though, real quick, Duke, it's easy to hate, but usually those programs like Alabama where Saban can kind of come off as a little bit of an arrogant kind of guy, right? He's not the best to the media. But Coach K, to me, has always been class. He's always been top class. So while you may hate the culture, you may hate the program, usually what's associated with that is the head coach as well. Belichick, obviously, with the Patriots. But Coach K, man, I feel like you can't find a reason to dislike that dude.
I can't agree with you more. I totally agree.
All right, so what can people expect here on Action News Jax tonight? What do you got for us?
Well, a couple of things. First and foremost, I'm not going too crazy today, by the way. I took it easy
Friday,
on you guys.
man.
I know.
Give it to us.
Well,
Come on now.
I'm trying to give people what they want. You're driving in your car right now, or maybe you're logged on at work watching quietly while the boss is not watching or whatever. I don't know how that works exactly, but I'm thinking, well, you want to know what's happening for the weekend. So a couple of things. Number one, we got a lot of rain this morning, and we're going to get a lot of rain. Maybe even some thunderstorms coming through tonight, like overnight. So Mike's going to track all that. Mike Bursch will have the very latest for you and his weekend forecast, which, by the way, looks pretty good.
Okay, I like that.
Then you want to know where to go out and eat, right? Okay. So we have
say no more.
We have the original restaurant report every Friday night. Tonight we talk about. I'm not going to tell you exactly. I'm not going to tell you the restaurant.
Yeah.
But we have some pretty nastiness happening at a local restaurant.
Oh no!
It involves live roaches. Oh, that's all I'm going to say.
Can you tell me off?
No,
where
that's
do I
called
go
the
there?
tease, Austin.
Yeah.
That's called the tease. You have to watch tonight. CBS 47, Fox 30, Action News Jax.
It's called the tease. It's called if I go there tonight before I watch the show, I'm pretty bummed.
Hey,
I guess we'll see.
Be like that sometimes.
Oh,
it's
man.
the way it works. I mean, this is a business, man. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
See,
is that how it works?
That's how it works.
Is that what the saying is?
It's just one of those things where do I watch it, do I not watch it? Because sometimes
you always watch.
Thank you, Marcel.
No, but I'm saying for the food report though, because it's gonna break my heart if it's a restaurant that I always go to.
Say the best time to go to those restaurants
is right after.
Right after that,
for sure.
I would think.
But of course, I'm always watching. If I'm not watching,
Here's
I'm DVRing.
what I know is if you're Ben Becker, do you ever go out to eat on your own?
Nope.
No way.
Never.
I don't know how. And take out with a different name.
Uber Eats.
My name is Bob Johnson. I'm ordering some food for Bob Johnson.
John, real quick, because I actually teased and I was delivering my teases.
Yes, sir.
The Vikings. Because, I mean, I'm tired of talking about the Jaguars, man.
Well, listen, as a Jags Viking fan, I will welcome any fans who want to just take the rest of the season, hop on the bandwagon. We're gonna beat San Diego.
Okay.
We're gonna beat the Packers.
Yeah.
And hopefully by then it won't matter whether we beat the Bears or not.
Okay.
Let's just call it that. And we're in the playoffs. The Vikes are in the playoffs.
Oh, you heard it here first.
Right here.
ESPN690, John Bachman.
It's gonna
Vikings
happen.
Insider.
I think we can go 1-2 and still get in.
Coos, can we set that audio, please?
There it is.
All right, enough said. John Bachman, thanks for joining us, man.
Thanks for having me, guys.
See you, John.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. I guess when we get back now, should we talk to Santa Claus a little bit?
Let's talk to the man in red.
Let's talk to the man in red and give us some of our sports wishes. We've been good boys. Hopefully you can hear our answers, our prayers, I guess, basically. We'll see. I have a pretty big list when we come back in ESPN 690.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Happy Friday. I'm Jake Mitchell. There's a shakeup in the Jags coaching staff. No, not that. Quarterback coach Scott Milenovich has announced his departure from the team to take a head coaching position for the CFL's Edmonton Eskimos. Milenovich will finish the season with the Jaguars. LSU quarterback Joe Burrow is taking home hardware before the playoffs. Heisman favorite won the Maxwell and the Davey O'Brien Awards last night. Joe is excited about winning, but he's more excited about the college football playoffs.
All the awards are nice, but I'm a game plan kind of guy, so I'm ready to get back into it.
And the Jacksonville Icemen are in town this weekend. They play the Orlando Solar Bears on Saturday. Puck drops at 7 p.m. This is the Guns N' Hoses game. Stay connected with ESPN 690 while you're at work by listening on ESPN690.com. The best kept secret in tires is TireOutlet.com. Tire Outlet offers wholesale prices with premium service, and TireOutlet.com always has a safety-first focus. With locations throughout the First Coast, there's no need to go anywhere else for tires and service.
Right now at T-Mobile, you can get 4 iPhone 11s on us when you add 4 lines and keep your family connected with our most powerful signal ever.
So, hope everyone likes their presents. Thanks to T-Mobile, we all got iPhone 11s this year.
Really? Wait, all of us?
Yep.
The one with the all-day battery life?
And the ultra-wide camera.
Yeah, let's get a picture.
Okay, say happy holidays.
Happy holidays! I'm gonna post this pic right now.
Already did. 20 likes.
Hashtag that's my girl. Hashtag best gift ever.
Yeah. Hashtag dad's blocked.
Ring in the holidays at T-Mobile. Get 4 lines for just $30 a line, and hurry in to get 4 iPhone 11s on us with new lines and qualifying iPhone trade-in.
Via 24 credits for well-qualified buyers with autopay plus taxes and fees. If you cancel your line before receiving 24 credits, you may owe up to the full value of your device, $699.99 for base model. Contact us. Qualifying service and finance agreements required.
As you know by now, I love the wings at Mr. Chubby's Wings. Hey, everyone, this is Brent Martineau. You'll love them, too, and you have to try the wings. But Mr. Chubby's has a full menu. Parents, kids, and sports teams, this is made for you. The American Dream Special. Burgers, fries, and a famous Mr. Chubby Shake for just $12.99. The American Dream Special. I suggest throwing in some wings, too, especially the Maple Cajun. 2 locations, the West Side and in Fleming Island. Chub it up at the place to be, Mr. Chubby's Wings.
The most wonderful time of the year deserves the most wonderful sale of the year. And for that, you got to go see Arlington Toyota, where you can still get huge Toyotathon savings and pay up to 50% less on remaining 2019s. With over 1,000 new and used on the lot every day, that's a whole lot of Toyotathon savings happening right now at Arlington. How about a 2019 Toyota Camry? It's not $19,745. Now it's only $15,581. That's $15,581 for a pre-owned 2019 Toyota Camry at Arlington. Got to have a 2019 Toyota RAV4? It's not $22,925. No way. Now it's just $19,481. Just $19,481 for a pre-owned 2019 Toyota RAV4 XLE at Arlington. Plus, you're going to get all the rewards and benefits of the Arlington Toyota $5,000 Advantage Club with your purchase. Toyotathon is on, but it won't last forever. Get in today and pay up to 50% less on remaining 2019s at Arlington Toyota. In person at 10939 Atlantic Boulevard and online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/Toyotathon for offer details.
New flavors and a rating that would make men jealous. Hey, everyone, this is Austin Lane.
And I'm Brent Martineau. Vita de Louis recently got a 98 rating. It's new, and it's getting rave reviews.
Made in Tequila, Mexico, and shipped directly to Jax Beach. Vita de Louis is available in 3 flavors.
And those flavors are Blanco, Reposado, and Añejo. Try all 3. Make your own recipes with Vita de Louis Tequila, one of the smoothest tequilas you will ever taste. For merchandise and more, visit VitaDeLouis.com.
At Action News Jax, we're here for severe. When storms threaten, put your trust in the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Team, led by Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish. Rated the most accurate for the last 13 years.
The First Alert Weather Team is the only team of certified meteorologists in the Jacksonville area. That means we have the most schooling and training to forecast and predict severe weather. And that experience will keep you safe from a storm.
Action News Jax First Alert Weather on CBS 47 and Fox 30.
Golick and Wingo.
I think my jersey was one of the top-selling jerseys around the world, and I didn't make $1 from it, but nor did I want to.
I respect Tim Tebow. I respect his opinion. I love his passion. I just could not disagree with it more.
Golick and Wingo, weekdays at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Welcome back to ESPN 690. Joined today by Marcel Robinson making a rare appearance. The Swagosaurus. I'm just going to start calling it Swagosaurus now, I guess.
I'm with it.
Yeah. Safe travels to Brent Martineau as he's probably, where do you think he's at right now? He's in the air, right?
No.
They haven't left yet?
I would say if they're in the air, they just got in the air. Depends on which pilot we have. We've got some questionable ones.
Gotcha. Well, let's be honest here, Marcel. In terms of this season, there hasn't been a lot of cheer about.
Facts.
It's probably taken away some of your Christmas spirit, perhaps.
Just put the Christmas tree up 2 days ago.
Did you really? We're not putting one up at all, actually. So, because we're going to go back home. So, what's the point?
Can't blame you.
Yeah. Real tree or fake tree?
Oh, fake tree, 100%.
Does it have the lights built into it, or do you put the lights on yourself?
Nope. It's pre-lit, and I'm not ashamed.
Hey, be a little more lazy.
Hey.
Be a little more lazy.
I mean, we put the ornaments on. That counts.
Yeah. Well, and isn't it? So, I mean, you have a child as well. You have a daughter who is, how old is she now?
She's 8.
She's 8 years old, and I have a 4-year-old. And it's how awesome is it the fact that when I got to the NFL and stuff and I was in my mid-20s, Christmas kind of lost its luster because, number one, you got to work during it usually, so you don't really celebrate it. And number two, like, you're old now, so it kind of seems like, there's not much to celebrate anymore. But then when you have a kid, man, then it's like it's your goal to try to give them the best Christmas as possible. Now, that's also Santa Claus's goal, but it's also your goal to try to provide them with the best Christmas as possible. So, like, to me now, man, with the family, like, I kind of got like a new lease on Christmas, if you will.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's the same way for me. Honestly, I tell my daughter all the time literally, I do everything we do for Christmas just for her.
Yeah.
Like if I didn't have her, I probably wouldn't own a Christmas tree just because it'd just be me and my dog, and it's almost like, why?
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. Like I tend for me if if I do anything, we'll do our Christmas stuff at my house, obviously, and then sometimes I'll go home. Like I'll go back to see my family up in Georgia because some of my cousins and my aunts and uncles, everyone still kind of congregates at my grandma's house in Folkestone. But other than that, I mean, once she pops open her gifts and she goes and does her thing, Christmas is over. I mean, I think the past maybe 3 or 4 years, I've taken the Christmas tree down on Christmas.
Dang, man.
I don't wait that whole wait to New Year's thing.
Okay.
Nah, we don't do that.
All right, one more question. Ham or turkey?
Oh, ham all day.
You go ham? 100%. See, like, we still, like, back home in Wisconsin, I think we go turkey a little bit, too.
But see, turkey makes you sleepy, and I can't do that. Because then you fall asleep on the NBA games.
Oh, I got you. Well, especially nowadays. Like, back then, it was kind of, whatever. But now, I get you. And I feel like there's always NBA games, and at least when I was a kid, there's always, like, some kind of, like, Shania Twain is?
I do.
There's always, like, a Shania Twain, like, Christmas, like, literally, like, every single year. So, like, it was just literally we're playing board games, watching Shania Twain for some reason. That's what I remember my Christmas. Really magical moments here. But since we're trying to get in the spirit, man, and we're trying to, Christmas is right around the corner, and we haven't really talked about it on the show, and we haven't really celebrated anything yet. So I figured, what a better way on a Friday, on a balmy Friday here that kind of feels like the North Pole maybe a little bit. Let's go ahead and let's break out the old school thing that we used to do as kids, and let's write letters to Santa. Okay? And this can be about the Jaguars. This can be about any sports in general. It can really be about anything. I mean, if it's a cry for help, it's a cry for help. You can do whatever you want to do with your letter to Santa.
Facts.
But we both made some letters to Santa here. We're going to read them off. Kuz, you really got to set the scene here, man. We got to have some sweet bed music in order to do this.
All right, here we go. How's this?
It's fair.
Is this Saw 12? Is this Saw 12? Hey, do you want to play a game? Let's see what else we got.
It is a little creepy, right?
Is this Saw 12?
You haven't even gotten into the good part.
There's a good part.
Hello, Marcel.
See, it picked up a little.
You hide behind a camera.
Yeah.
Now it's your job to... Yeah, no, that's freaking me out.
I am uncomfortable.
Yep. Because all I can visualize is that puppet.
All right, what about this one?
Hey!
I mean, I know I'm from Folkestone, but we don't actually play banjos in the country.
Hey,
Jeez.
is this who sang the song Devil Went Down to Georgia?
It's right on the tip of my tongue.
Okay.
But this is not him.
Well, you're from Georgia. That's what it sounds like. All right, okay, hit me with number 3.
You know what?
Oh, that's me right there.
This fits the theme
Is
of
that
mine.
you too?
This fits 100%.
All right. So now, do you have any experience writing letters to Santa? Did you do it as a kid or not?
I did not write letters to Santa, actually.
Why not, man? What was up?
I don't know. Because for the most part, I've always been like very like chill, laid back kind of. I get what I get type of guy.
Take it as it comes in.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, like I've always asked for things, obviously, but it's never been like a legit write it down. It's always just kind of been a casual. Man, I want this, and then it would just show up under the tree.
Okay.
Type of thing.
I mean, it's been a while, but dude, I used to love writing letters to Santa, man, because he always delivered. Right? Like I remember, like 3rd grade, it was a bike. Boom, got a bike. I was a good boy. 4th grade, I think I got a snowboard. Boom, snowboard. I was a good boy. Now, 5th until freshman year of high school, it was a Yamaha YZ 125 dirt bike.
It's a big ask.
It's a huge ask. But I was on my best behavior. Gonna be honest, Santa Claus kind of let me down a little bit, and I never got that. Maybe I wasn't as good a boy as I thought I was gonna be, but hopefully I can redeem myself here, and hopefully I can get some of my Christmas wishes answered here. But I'm gonna let you go first. You're gonna set the tempo a little bit. Kuz, do you have one as well or not?
Yeah, no, I didn't. I'm not good. This
Okay,
year.
you just spent time getting that Saw bed music, and that was about it. Okay, no problem. Marcel and myself will take it from here. So, Marcel, this is your Christmas
this is it.
letter to Santa for sports.
All right, here we go. Dear Santa, as a loyal member of the Good Guys Club, I have just one wish this holiday season. I don't ask for much. I'm not asking for fame. I'm not asking for fortune. I'm not even asking for love. I simply ask that you please remove the curse that has been placed on football teams in the state of Georgia. It is a well-known fact that the Bulldogs and Falcons have quite the ceiling that just so happens to stop one step before the mountaintop. All of my friends have experienced the treasures of rooting for a champion. Whenever the Home Shopping Network sells championship gear, I change the channel because the tears just roll down my face. That whole 28-3 thing.
This is a cry for help.
Not cool, Santa. I appreciate the restoration of the Bulldogs' dominance, but dang, we can't get one? I've waited long enough. In the words of Riley Freeman, it's time to pay what you owe, Santa.
Nicely done. So that was a cry for help. That's kind of what I gathered from it.
I just want one.
You're kind of a broken man a little bit.
I'm just tired of, at the end of football seasons, just dropping to my knees and saying, well, that's Georgia sports. Off we go.
Well, okay. So from that perspective, though, obviously you're a Falcons fan. You've made that abundantly clear. I mean, Hawks as well?
No.
No, it's just football.
Yes. No one roots for the Hawks. Don't listen to anyone. No one roots for the Hawks.
Trae Young? What's up with that?
People root for Trae Young. No one collectively roots for the Hawks. Am I right?
I mean, this is news to me. I'm kind of surprised.
That's what I'm saying.
No.
Okay, I mean, I get it. You're Oklahoma City Thunder fan. We've established. Well, are you even a Thunder fan anymore?
I am. Thunder up.
Thunder up.
Even in the midst of our trials.
Thunder up.
Thunder up.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, well, that was nicely done once again.
That's all I want.
More of a cry for, but hey, you didn't ask much.
I just want a jacket from the Home Shopping Network that says Super Bowl whatever or National Champion whatever with a year on it. That is after I was born.
Okay, fair enough. Now, my phone's getting ready to die, so I got to charge it in quick. Hang on. All right, Kuz, we got the music again. Don't do the Saw music. I want the I want the wholesome.
That's jolly.
It's too jolly. I need something more somber. I need snow falling. I need tiny tots with their eyes all glow, finding it hard to sleep at night, Kuz.
He needs Pop is driving trucks
absolutely.
And left.
This is like a Christian rock Christmas song. Absolutely not. Can you just give me one that Marcel had? Oh, there it is.
There it is.
All right. Let's start from the top here. And by the way, you can kind of see where my head was at, where I start with Jaguars, I go on to other sports, and then I come back to Jaguars again because I'm super passionate right now about the Jaguars. Dear Santa, what's up? It's Austin. Long time no see. Thanks for not getting me the dirt bike that I wanted for the past couple years. It is what it is. Hopefully you answer my prayers now. I want Yannick Ngakoue to be paid. Yannick Ngakoue, as you know, because you're a defensive-minded kind of Santa, he is vital to Josh Allen's development. And going forward, I'd like to see the Jaguars run a 3-4 defense with both those bookends playing at the same time. You know defense is better than I do, so maybe still a 4-3 defense. Nevertheless, Yannick Ngakoue has built the culture. It's time that he gets paid like a guy who has built the culture. I want Gardner Minshew as the starting quarterback and no quarterback taken in the first round of the draft this up-and-coming year. Yes, including if Tua falls to the Jaguars. I think Gardner Minshew is going to be the guy going forward. We just have to give him some time. He has the swag, he has the leadership, and he's shown glimpses of brilliance. Let's build a team around him and see if he can sustain that for the whole season. Now I kind of go off the rails a little bit. I want Giannis Antetokounmpo, a.k.a. the Greek Freak, just to be happy. Oh. And if he's happy leaving Milwaukee when his contract is done this year, I'll be pretty bummed, but he's a great guy, and I can never be mad at him. So at the end of the day, just give Milwaukee one championship, and then if Giannis has to leave, so be it. I have nothing but respect for what that guy has done to the cities. I want the Jaguars uniforms to have a gold outline on their numbers. I know, I get it. We're tired of switching the uniforms back and forth, because you can't establish an identity. But Santa Claus, you understand, you wear the red, you wear the black, and you have the gold outline. There's swag there. So let's go ahead and put a gold outline around the numbers. That way, they don't look like practice jerseys. I want the rebranding of the Jaguars defense to go from Saxonville to New Sac City. And in doing so, you can call either Josh Allen or Yannick Ngakoue the sheriff of New Sac City.
I like it.
For those kids listening right now who don't understand, New Jack City was a movie that your mom and dad probably grew up watching. Check it out. Make sure I think there's a lot of swearing, so maybe not. Check it out when you're over 13 or 14. Dear Santa, please give me Hunter Henry next year on the Jacksonville Jaguars. I understand the tight end spot is a necessity, but when you draft a tight end, it doesn't always work out that way. I get Hunter Henry's injury history, but at the end of the day, he's probably the best viable option. Give whatever that guy wants. Dear Santa, please give me a commercial with Gardner Minshew as Uncle Rico and Lamar Jackson as Willie Beeman. The marketing dollars there would be off the charts. For those kids listening, once again, who don't know who Willie Beeman is, he's from a movie that your mom and dad watched called Any Given Sunday. Once again, get your parents' permission to watch that movie. There is some bad words in it and also some adult situations.
Understatement.
Yes. Dear Santa, please get a beer-drinking bad boy in the PGA Tour so I can get pumped up about watching it again for Brent Martineau. Yes, Tiger Woods is cool, but he's on the back nine of his career. Give me more. If you don't give me that, then just let Brooks Koepka go full heel. Golf needs a villain. Give me a villain. And last but not least, and this is completely random, Dear Santa, please make a Broad Street Bullies movie and do it right. I don't care who stars in it. I think the story, and Kuz can attest to this, I think the story of the Broad Street Bullies is one that needs to be told. And I think if you can tell a story about the Ferrari versus Ford in theaters with Matt Damon and Christian Bale, you can definitely make a Broad Street Bullies movie. Santa, thanks for listening. Hopefully you answer my wishes.
Oh, man.
Hey, can you say entitlement from my end?
I mean,
that was a long list, right?
You said it, not me. Santa's got a lot of work to do.
That was a long list. And it was funny because I started out like just, I was going to go from the Jaguars and other sports. Obviously, the Milwaukee Bucks was in there. But then I just come like, the Jaguars, man. Like, they just get to me. So it was mostly Jaguars related. But hopefully, at least some of those prayers get answered. We'll see.
That was a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, at one point, I thought Kuz was going to have to re-rack the music track.
I wasn't bringing it back.
Yeah. But no, in all due respect, though, I mean, do you think Jackson going forward could be like Willie Beeman?
I could see that.
Yeah. Kuz, do you know who Stephen Willie Beeman is? You can be honest. It's okay if you don't. You ever heard of a movie called Any Given Sunday? Oh, you're so young. You're so young and innocent.
He's steaming.
Yeah, Stephen Willie Beeman. So he was basically like the dual threat guy in the football movie, and he reminds me a lot of Lamar Jackson, obviously. So,
side note question: how many guys have you played with that have, how can I phrase this? Regurgitated their liquids upon coming into the game?
Oh, talking about throwing up.
Yes.
Where is this coming from?
I mean, Willie Beeman.
Oh, gotcha. Good call. So I'm gonna. That's a great question. So, are we talking about on the game or before the game?
In like during the game, like on the field.
Okay.
In the huddle.
On the field, honestly, I did it a couple times when I was sick, like my first couple years playing, because when you're in training camp, you can't afford to miss. So, like, you go out there with the flu. Nowadays, I feel like you can miss. It's not a big deal. But
especially here.
Exactly. But back when I played, like, yeah, I mean, you'd be sick and then, you'd go off to the side and do your thing. But one of the things that really stands out to me in my mind was when I played for the Detroit Lions. And the center of the name of Dominique Raiola.
Okay.
Do you remember Dominique at all or not?
Name.
Okay, yeah. So I think he was on Sports Illustrated list of like top guys that aren't liked by NFL players because he was yeah. So Dominique, he had a couple things about him, man. Number one, so like each NFL team, they have their own equipment staff. I mean, they have like their own like equipment guys, right? So one guy's associated to the defensive line, one guy's associated to the linebackers, and each guy has their job of who to take care of. Dominique Raiola had his own guy. His own equipment guy. And that equipment guy's job, the only thing he had to do when we're going on the road for away games was he had to bring the speaker system. Now, when I say the speaker system, Kuz, once again, a movie that you're probably too old to remember. You remember the movie Back to the Future?
Of course.
You remember when Marty McFly, to start out the movie, plugs into the amp and like it blows him back and the speakers blow out? It's like giant amps.
Yep.
Those amps were literally in the locker room of our away games. And it was like the manager's job to get it all set up. So then like Dominic Raiola would like blast like, the Slipknots. He would blast the Korn. He would blast all like the kind of the hardcore kind of music and stuff like that. And literally, man, like to the point where your ears would almost bleed. And nobody, whether it was me who just got to the team, so I'm not going to say anything, whether it was Ndamukong Suh, whether it was Calvin Johnson or Matt Stafford, nobody ever said anything. But the reason that I bring up Dominic Raiola was the fact from, you said, tossing your cookies, throwing up. He threw up before every single game. And I asked him, like, dude, like, do you just eat bad before the game? Like, what's up? He's like, oh, no, this gets me pumped up. Like, I have to do this to get pumped up. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, truth be told, sometimes I try to and I don't do it. If I don't do it, it means I'm not going to play well. I'm like, wow, man, that's really no way to live, but so be it. I guess to each their own, right? But that was like his pregame tradition. Is he had his giant speakers that the whole stadium could hear during the pregame, and then he had to throw up.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, I completely understand the whole superstitious thing. I mean, when I was playing, I refused to wear shoes to the field, just like
Excuse me.
From the car to the field. Like I wouldn't put shoes on until I got to the locker room.
So you walked in your socks?
Yeah. And to this day, even playing flag football, I still do it. If it's cold or the ground's wet, I will walk from my car to the field with no shoes on.
Time out, though. Okay, so say you're wearing socks.
Yep.
And Kuz, spoiler, we may go past this break because this is crazy. So you go from your car, you wear socks.
Yep.
Do those same socks get warm when you play then?
Yeah.
So you play football with wet socks.
If it's wet outside, that's what happens.
Hey, this has turned into a sports show, more like an intervention from Marcel Robinson, who walks to a field barefoot when the grass is soggy and then plays a football game with grimy, wet socks.
It's just like you said. If the games that I have not followed that strict tradition, I have played well. Played well.
Where is this coming from, though? Did you have that one game where it was like you did that and then you played well?
Well, my last game when I was playing semi-pro football was the best game I've ever had, and I forgot my cleats in the car.
Okay.
So I went to the field, and I was like, oh, I don't have my shoes. So I ran back to the car to get my cleats, and I ran back to the field with just my socks on.
Okay. I think my day is done. We should bring a psychologist in here for like the next hour or so. But when we come back, we're gonna go back to the NFL a little bit. We got to debate Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes. Who's had the better second-year campaign? Also, some more Jaguars news and some of the trending stories of the day here on ESPN 690.
Pop quiz. If you sell a home for $500,000, how much would a traditional real estate agent charge in commission? If you guessed $25,000 to $30,000, you're right. But if you think that's the only way, you're wrong. This is why thousands of homeowners are making the switch to Rex. With Rex, you get a dedicated agent and a full-service experience at a fraction of the cost. Rex uses game-changing technology to cut out the middleman and save homeowners tens of thousands of dollars in fees. See if you qualify by calling 833-REX-HOME. Remember, this is your home. Why give an insane amount of equity away to an agent? Rex offers the lowest fee in the industry without skimping on service. You'll work with an experienced real estate team with you every step of the way. Get the most out of your home. See if you qualify by calling 833-REX-HOME. 833-REX-HOME.
Florida, CQ 1057788.
Minimum fee may apply. Not licensed in all 50 states. Visit rexhomes.com to see if Rex is available in your area. Rex fully supports the principles of the Fair Housing Act and Equal Opportunity Act.
Okay, they definitely don't have safe touch security here. Look, you see that cheap plug-and-play alarm system right there on the table?
Yeah.
All we gotta do is crash through this door here, walk over to the cheap system, and smash it.
Boss, I got a better idea. Instead of smashing that cheap alarm, we could just unplug it and take it with us. Then we could regift it.
Oh, you may be onto something here. We could give these do-it-yourself alarms to people we don't like, and then break into their house a week or two later.
Boss, that's a dirty, rotten thing to do.
What, you want to give them to someone you like?
Yeah, I guess that's a good point.
You know, I even heard they have a warehouse full of these cheap alarms from all the unhappy customers who've returned them.
Well, good thing these folks didn't return theirs yet.
Right. So let's crash and smash now before they call Safe Touch.
You got it, boss.
crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
The most wonderful time of the year deserves the most wonderful sale of the year. And for that, you got to go see Arlington Toyota, where you can still get huge Toyotathon savings and pay up to 50% less on remaining 2019s. With over 1,000 new and used on the lot every day, that's a whole lot of Toyotathon savings happening right now at Arlington. How about a 2019 Toyota Corolla? It's not $16,995. Now it's only $12,481. That's $12,481 for a pre-owned 2019 Toyota Corolla at Arlington. Got to have a 2019 Toyota Tacoma? It's not $24,575. No way. Now it's just $28,991. Just $28,991 for a pre-owned 2019 Toyota Tacoma at Arlington. Plus, you're going to get all the rewards and benefits of the Arlington Toyota $5,000 Advantage Club with your purchase. Toyotathon is on, but it won't last forever. Get in today and pay up to 50% less on remaining 2019s at Arlington Toyota. In person at 10939 Atlantic Boulevard and online anytime at arlingtontoyota.com. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/Toyotathon for offer details.
What did you buy Tasha for Christmas?
Cookbook.
Oh, fumble.
What do I do?
JCPenney's got you covered.
Your JCPenney associate will help you find something that sparkles as much as she does. Get up to 80% off fine jewelry Redbow deals. Or JCPenney Rewards members get your choice of a diamond pendant, studs, or ring for $25 each. JCPenney. Offers valid 12/12 to 12/14. $25 diamond jewelry excluded from coupons and rewards. Other exclusions apply. See store or jcp.com for coupons and details.
'Twas the holiday season, and in your garage, a brand new John Deere. That's not a mirage. With neighbors admiring your shiny new ride, it's your year for a Deere to fill you with pride. So if additional offers are what you desire, see our low rates before they expire. Now start up your engines and drive out of sight. New John Deere equipment for all, and to all a good night. Make it your year for a Deere. See your John Deere dealer today to discover more amazing deals and attractive financing offers.
There's a new sports medicine practice in Jacksonville.
Hi, my name is Stan Longenecker.
Hi, I'm Dr. Grimsley.
I'm Dr. Michael Adams.
Ortho Edge.
We don't use PAs in my practice. We believe that the patient pays money for a doctor and should be seen by a doctor.
They're getting the most technologically available medicine there is.
Ortho Edge.
You're going to get a much better experience with your physician. We all see our patients every time.
Find out more about us at orthoedge.com.
We're in the DePaul building attached to St. Vincent's Medical Center, Riverside.
Hey, it's Mike Golick from Golick & Wingo. You're listening to ESPN 690.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Cornerback Janoris Jenkins is cut by the Giants today, just 2 days after he used an inappropriate word toward a fan on Twitter. After he was cut, Jenkins tweeted, quote, "Best news ever. Thank you," end quote. The Cardinals cut 37-year-old linebacker Terrell Suggs. He was the NFL Defensive Player of the Year back in 2011. The Ravens clinched the AFC North title. They're now 12-2 after beating the Jets. And ESPN's Field Yates says Lamar Jackson could change some things in the NFL.
Even those of us who have an interest in the draft and sort of evaluate these players for what we do as a living here at ESPN, maybe think outside of some of our norms going forward. It's not just for quarterbacks.
Field Yates on Golick and Wingo. Lakers forward Kyle Kuzma is out for tonight's game against the Heat with a sprained left ankle. There's no further word yet today on the condition of former NBA Commissioner David Stern, who was hospitalized in New York after a brain hemorrhage Thursday afternoon. Stern was inducted at the Basketball Hall of Fame in 2014.
This holiday season, Dodge's gift to you is Dodge Power Dollars. That means $10 off every horsepower of your new 2019 Charger and Challenger. So hurry into the Dodge Big Finish event today and end the year with a great deal.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30. Action Sports Jags.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio.
This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN690 and ESPN690.com.
Man, it's special. It's just a blessing to be a part of it, man. The good Lord put me in a great situation where I'm here with the Baltimore Ravens, and I'm here with great teammates, a great organization, and I thank the good Lord for putting me here, and it's a special thing to be able to witness LJ accomplish special things. It's a franchise record for TD passes, the league record for QB rushing yards. So, man, I'm just happy for LJ. He deserves it. He's a hard worker, and that's what we're here for, to make his job easy and let him do what he does.
Big trust.
Whoa, whoa.
That was Mark Ingram talking about more than likely probably the MVP frontrunner right now in Lamar Jackson. Did you see last night when they gave Mark Ingram the microphone after the game? It was Aaron Andrews.
I have no words for whatever they give Mark Ingram.
Did you see it? Did you watch that, though? Yeah, I mean, and it's funny because from all my, cause I was reading into it, and I guess he's always kind of been like this with his personality.
Always.
But it's like we talked about. We had a guy with an Alvin Kamara with the New Orleans Saints who was kind of like that breakout star. Guy's got a nose ring, all right? He's a little alternative, right? He's kind of a different type of cat. And I felt like all the shine, all the glory went to Alvin Kamara when Mark Ingram was still doing his thing. And if you go back to the numbers of Mark Ingram in New Orleans, they were good, man. Just from the fact that Alvin Kamara, for whatever reason, probably more of a fantasy purpose, was the better back. Now fast forward, Mark Ingram comes to Baltimore, and I'm not going to call it a resurgence. I'm not going to do it because he's always been pretty consistent, but you can see his leadership. You can see his toughness, and you can see the culture has brought out the best in Mark Ingram.
Yeah,
yeah,
100%.
And you saw with the interview last night when he was interviewing his teammate Lamar Jackson. And I'll be honest, man, Kuz, you're a guy that knows this stuff. As far as cameos concerned, does Mark Ingram have a cameo?
I don't know. I can check.
I mean, because if he doesn't, you're missing opportunity to make millions, if not millions of dollars, because Mark Ingram can hype up anything. I don't care if he's hyping up the Sunday service announcements. I don't care if he's trying to hype up, maybe breaking up in a relationship. Whatever it is, if you got Mark Ingram having your back, I feel like you can't go wrong. So if that guy's on Cameo, man, we almost got to get him on here just to kind of cut a promo for us, because I feel like you cannot go wrong with it. But we kind of teased this question to start out the show.
No, he's not.
He's not on Cameo. His loss. So we kind of teased this question to start out the show, and I've said it religiously on the show. And listen, if you're a football fan, I'm not saying anything that you haven't heard before, but going from your rookie year to your second year is when you make the most progress. Happened with Patrick Mahomes, and now we see it with Lamar Jackson as well. And there's a reason why Lamar Jackson is my fantasy quarterback in all my teams, because when John Harbaugh came out, after they drafted Lamar Jackson and the next year at the Combine, the Ravens are all there, and John Harbaugh comes out and says, listen, we have a guy in Greg Roman who ran the offense in San Francisco, and we're going to do some interesting things this year. And he said, we're going to go from the traditional, power run team, and we're going to be more dynamic. We're going to get Lamar Jackson involved more, and we're going to be an explosive offense. And I think a lot of people, when John Harbaugh maybe said that, were like, well, every coach is going to say that, right? Like, you're trying to hype up the team. That's what every coach does at the Combine, at the press conferences. But say what you want about John Harbaugh and say what you want about even Jim Harbaugh. I think that you can't say I'm wrong when I say that the Harbaughs, they stay true to themselves. They're not going to lie to you.
Right.
So when John Harbaugh came out and said, we're going to do some new things this year, you know what? I believed him. And he was right. They're doing some new things this year. So I guess when we go off of Patrick Mahomes' stats from last year, and this was a guy who comes out of Texas Tech, I'll be honest, didn't know a lot about him, okay? Obviously, Andy Reid was a huge fan of him. Obviously, the gym at the time was a huge fan of him because they kind of went above and beyond. They traded some guys away to get Patrick Mahomes. Now, it's funny because some of the draft experts were like, why would you get Patrick Mahomes? You have Alex Smith, at least a couple more years. He's serviceable. Why would you trade up to get a guy that's probably going to fall to you? Well, Andy Reid knew something that we didn't. And guess what? Probably one of the best decisions in Chiefs history, if not the history of the NFL.
Yeah.
So when we go back to 2018, and granted, this is Patrick Mahomes' second year, because remember, the first year, he got in a couple games late in the season, but Alex Smith was the guy.
Correct.
So we're talking about a monumental, groundbreaking type of year. He was the MVP. 5,907 yards, 50 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. Now, obviously, yeah, the yards are great and everything like that, but the big thing is the touchdowns. The guy threw for 50 touchdowns, and Brent and I had a bet going on that I bet Mahomes would be over 40 touchdowns this season. Now, the injuries didn't help my case at all, and that's something that it is what it is. But when we're talking about 50 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, and a quarterback rating of 113.8, that's pretty impressive. But my question to you, Marcel Robinson, with those numbers in mind, and let's be honest, last year at this time, Patrick Mahomes was the talk of the town. He was everywhere. Mm-hmm. He was going to change the position of quarterback. I think he's still doing that, but let's be honest. He's had some injuries this year, and with those injuries, I think people have felt like he regressed a little bit. But now enter Lamar Jackson. And Lamar Jackson right now, 28 passing touchdowns, 7 rushing touchdowns, 2,600 and some change in the passing yardage, and over 1,000 obviously just broke Mike Vick's record. So 1,100 yards rushing. Whose performance is more impressive to you? Patrick Mahomes of last year or Lamar Jackson of this year?
See, it's kind of tough for me. If I have to pick one, I would probably lean towards Lamar simply because the steps that he made coming from last season to this season, I won't say they're leaps and bounds, but he's improved so much of what he was not necessarily deficient, but what he wasn't as great at last year. I mean, last year the book was what? They're succeeding because he's running the ball and he's not the best passer. Where he's come out this year and he's making every single throw possible. When it comes to Patrick Mahomes, last year, still, like you said, coming into the year, very much under the radar still a little bit. And then kind of as time went on, people were very much like, yo, who's this kid? Like, let me tune in a little bit. I was fortunate enough to see him, well, unfortunate because of the circumstance, but last year I was in Kansas City for the Jaguars game. And just to see his command over the huddle.
Yeah.
And just
especially with a young kid too.
Right.
The guy's still young.
Right.
You know?
I mean it's by that point he probably had captured the team, taking control of it, but just to see kind of how in command he was, nothing rattled him. No situation was too big for him. I mean, a lot of that's some of the same stuff you're seeing in Lamar right now. Mm-hmm. But if, like I said, with the running aspect, of course, just seeing from how he's improved last year. I'm not going to sit here and say I remember Patrick Mahomes from his play during his rookie season, so to speak. But because Lamar Jackson was so much in the spotlight as a rookie, and then went in and put in the work, teams knew some of what to expect, and now you definitely know what to expect. Mm-hmm. I think it's harder for teams to figure him out, like we saw last year coming into this year. A lot of teams not necessarily have figured out Patrick Mahomes, but there's still a little bit of a kind of, okay, we sort of know what we're going to get. I mean, with Lamar Jackson, the fact that the dude runs a solid 4 or 5 is just a game changer. I mean, it's something that you just can't dismiss.
Can't teach speed.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes is far from a statue. I mean, he'll move around and he'll make plays with his legs when he has to.
Yep.
But I mean, it just seems that Lamar Jackson has improved his passing game so much from last season to this season that I have to give the nod to him.
So, from your perspective, I mean, let's say for whatever reason the Ravens go to the playoffs and they lose, they'll have to bye the first week more than likely, but then they lose the first round of after that. I mean, is that going to sway your decision at all?
I don't think so. Okay. I don't think so because I think, to be honest with you, I think last year Kansas City had the better team overall. I mean, on offense, yeah, we have, Lamar Jackson has, of course, Mark Ingram this year. He has Hollywood Brown, Willie Snead he's throwing to, and he's got Andrews and Hurst at tight end. But last year, I mean, Tyreek Hill, game changer. I mean, is it fair to say Tyreek Hill and Hollywood Brown are kind of a wash? Maybe, but Tyreek Hill is probably
time will
the
tell.
best. Yeah.
Time will tell.
True. Yeah. But I mean, Travis Kelce, still one of the best tight ends in the game.
Mark Andrews, though, is starting to become one of the bona fide tight ends from the Ravens.
Very fair, but at this very moment, I mean, if I have to choose between
probably
the two,
the best tight end in the game right now.
Travis Kelce, and I mean, the dude's just good. I mean, both of them are good, but like I said, with Lamar Jackson's running ability, what he can do, being able to turn – I mean, Patrick Mahomes can turn nothing into something.
Sure.
But for what Lamar Jackson can do with his dynamic, he literally might be unstoppable.
Well, and these two players, and Patrick Mahomes and then Lamar Jackson, they had so much in common really going into even this season. right? Because if you remember back, Patrick Mahomes, like I mentioned, back in 2017, played in a couple games. Like Alex Smith was the man, and he was going to pass the torch on to Mahomes. Well, the Chiefs had a pretty successful season, and they thought, well, you know what? Well, the last couple games, nothing to play for because we're already cemented. So let's go ahead and give Patrick Mahomes the ball a little bit. And I remember distinctively a game, I think, against Denver, where Mahomes came out and balled. So you saw the potential right off the get-go. It was a small sample size, granted, but you saw the potential. And then enter Lamar Jackson, right? Joe Flacco ends up going out, and Lamar Jackson comes in. And the Ravens at the time, last year, they're still hunting for the playoffs. And they win, 5-6 straight, and all of a sudden Lamar Jackson's like the man. And we saw the small sample size with Lamar Jackson as well, but it was a sample size that was predicated on running the football. Right? Like, we didn't get a chance for him to showcase his arm because, well, they didn't really have to.
Right.
Running that power game worked really well. But you both saw the small sample size. Now, I think Jackson gets the edge a little bit, obviously, because he led the team to the playoffs. Right. They didn't do a lot in the playoffs. Gus Bradley and that defense shut him down.
But you made it there.
But you still made it there. And I think they still won the division, if I'm not mistaken, that year as well. So the sample size is a little bigger for Jackson. And also, I'll say this about Patrick Mahomes, and I agree with you. I'm siding with Lamar Jackson. I think Lamar Jackson's numbers this year, and more importantly, what he's been able to do as leader of that team, is more impressive than even Patrick Mahomes of last year throwing 50 touchdowns, which is a number you may never see again for the next decade or so. But the reason why I'm so impressed with it is because when Patrick Mahomes came into the season back in 2018, you knew what he had. You knew Travis Kelce was already established as a pretty legit tight end. You knew Tyreek Hill was very intriguing, a speedster, and he was probably legit as well. You knew Sammy Watkins coming over was already going to be the man. And you know that you had an offensive line. You also had Kareem Hunt at the time, who was one of the best running backs from a fantasy perspective in the NFL. Now, granted, Kareem Hunt ran into problems and everything like that, and he didn't make it through the season, but you knew you had all those weapons at your disposal. And with Lamar Jackson, even last year, you didn't really know what you had.
Right.
You had a bunch of running backs that were kind of built the same, that ran the same style, headed with Gus Edwards. You had a receiving core with John Brown, who was the speedster. You had some decent tight ends, but you didn't really know. They were more of a defensive-minded team. Mm-hmm. So going into this year, the expectations for Lamar Jackson were just kind of like, well, I don't know, let's see if he can build off it. But there's no way he's going to be able to stay healthy with the way they're doing things right now. And if you look at the Chiefs' weapons right now, and I'll say this, Patrick Mahomes, taking nothing away from you, man, because you're one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Don't get me wrong. You're a former MVP, and you've earned it. But what's really going to tell the story of Patrick Mahomes going forward, and if he's going to be one of the elite quarterbacks of all time, is when those contracts start coming out. When Travis Kelce gets his new contract. When Mahomes gets his new contract. Tyreek Hill already got his new contract. But when they start dishing out all this money, and you can't have the same team that you're playing with right now, a la Aaron Rodgers, you're going to find out what kind of quarterback you is. Because right now, you're surrounded by a great quarterback and a great play caller in Andy Reid, and you're also surrounded by great talent at the tight end position, at the running back position, even though it's a little banged up right now, and obviously at the wide receiver position of the Kansas City Chiefs. On the other side of the coin, Lamar Jackson, the Baltimore Ravens, yes, you got Hollywood Brown. You got Seth Roberts, I think. I think you got Willie Snead the fourth.
Yep.
Let's be honest. These guys aren't getting big contracts. Well, obviously, Hollywood Brown, we'll see. He's still a rookie. But the other receivers?
In the grand scheme of things, they're just guys.
Yeah, they're just guys. You're throwing the guys out there. You're throwing touchdowns to just guys. All due respect to those guys, but let's be honest here. They're not household names.
Right.
And from the tight end position, I get it. Mark Andrews could be the next Travis Kelce. Nick Boyle does a lot of things for them, as well as Hayden Hurst. Your boy from his draft party. They do a lot of things. But none of those guys, maybe Mark Andrews, are going to garner a top contract. Maybe Mark Andrews eventually. But Hayden Hurst isn't going to do that. Nick Boyle just got paid. So I think with what you see now, and Mark Ingram, of course, too, as well. We didn't know what Mark Ingram was going to be. We knew Mark Ingram was a good player. But we know he was going to be like this for the Ravens. So with all those things considered, you have to give the nod to Lamar Jackson just because going into this season, it was uncertainty. You had no idea what you had at the wide receiver position. You figured tight ends would be okay. You didn't really know what Mark Ingram was going to do. And all this thing runs to Lamar Jackson. So with all those uncertainties, all those unknowns, the one constant this year that's made that offense go, Lamar Jackson. So he has my vote as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, like I said, with all that, because of, like you just said, but the people that he's throwing to, he's still able to, when need be, torch up a defense. And that's the scariest thing from a guy who last year, where you were never worried about him beating you with your arm. Your number one concern was, hey, if we can keep him contained, keep him from running around and running by us, we're okay. Well, just like last year with Patrick Mahomes, dude terrifies the secondary. He can make every throw. He can make a window out of no window. Yeah. And it seems like Lamar Jackson's doing a lot of that this year. He's making throws where you're kind of like, well, he wasn't doing that last year. And I think that's obvious, and that's just one thing where it's like you said, the next stage of his progression. Like, what's next? Like, he's already torching up defenses with his arm, with his legs, and he can make something out of literally nothing. I mean, you snap the ball over his head, he's probably going to cap it with a 15-yard run. Yeah. Patrick Mahomes, when he's like I said, he's mobile, and he will when he has to, but he runs. He's sort of like a Russell Wilson. He runs to create opportunities. He's running around to give his guys a chance to make a play. With Lamar Jackson, he does that, but he can also has the option to say, you know what, I'm the fastest guy on the field. I'm just going to run. Like, I'm just going to go. Yeah. And I think ultimately that one ability is the one thing that gives him the nod for me. Yeah, and that's the thing. And then granted, it's a lot to do with the offensive play calling, and it's the philosophy. But I feel like you put Lamar Jackson on any team, and the guy's going to be a weapon because his ability to run will always trump all, until at least for right now. We'll see how defenses respond to it. Defenses always respond. With Patrick Mahomes, you put him on the Dolphins right now. You put him on you put him on the Jaguars right now. How much does he elevate the guys around him? And now it's obviously a question that can't be answered, but it begs the question. So I agree with you with Lamar Jackson, but this is kind of my point, and this is what I want to get to here. So if history is an indicator, there's always that one guy coming from his rookie year to his second year that kind of has that breakout campaign, right? It was Patrick Mahomes. Now it's Lamar Jackson. If we look at the quarterbacks this year that are rookies right now, and obviously Gardner Minshew's part of it, and this is what I want to tie it to. If we look at the quarterbacks this year drafted, you got Daniel Jones, you got Kyler Murray, you got Dwayne Haskins, you got Drew Lock, and I'm going to put Ryan Finley in the list too because we don't know what the Cincinnati Bengals are going to do. And then obviously you have Gardner Minshew. Out of those 7 quarterbacks that I named, the history shows us, or at least the odds are showing us, that maybe one of those guys is going to have a breakout campaign and be the next big thing going into next season. If you were to say, and once again, the quarterbacks, Kyler Murray, Daniel Jones, Dwayne Haskins, Drew Lock, Ryan Finley, Gardner Minshew, out of those quarterbacks, do you see any of those guys being breakout stars next year? I definitely think there are a couple there that have, the potential to. I mean, obviously, all of them have the potential to be. But if I was to go down the list, and if someone were to ask me how many I thought had a legit chance of taking the next step, I would say maybe 2, maybe 3. Yeah. Gardner included, depending on how the rest of the season goes and what happens around him and whatnot. But I think that I think Kyler Murray has a chance just from his athletic ability. I mean, I could see maybe not necessarily the same as Lamar, but a similar type of progression, him coming in next year and still being able to use his athletic ability to create opportunities for him and the people around him. But that's the other question. Who's going to be around him? Is Larry Fitzgerald going to hang it up? And is he going to have anyone come in to take that particular role? Honestly, I think Daniel Jones could take that next step. I think that we saw enough of him and before the injury to kind of show some glimpses that he has the tools. It's just a matter of, like you said, coaching and offensive play calls and getting him some guys around him that can make plays. I mean, he's not going to give you any Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes type of jump, but I think that he has the potential too. I mean, and same thing with Gardner. I mean, the quarterback position is hard, man. You're only as good as the guys around you. Yeah. I mean, you can be. Well, and that's a great point. You look at Patrick Mahomes. He had the weapons at his disposal. You look at Lamar Jackson. We didn't know the weapons are going to be good, but now we're seeing those weapons around him are pretty legit. And like the names that you just named there, Marcel, Kyler Murray in Arizona. Dwayne Haskins, obviously. 0 weapons, really. Drew Lock is intriguing, with Cortland Sutton now and Noah Fant. And then to Daniel Jones, he has the weapons as well. It's like the guys that seem to have the success going in the second year, they have to have the guys around them. Yeah. I mean, you have to. I mean, it's just the nature of the beast. It's funny. We always go back to Giselle's statement about Tom Brady. He can't throw and catch the ball. I mean, obviously she was saying it in defense of him, but she's absolutely right. I mean, literally. I mean, if you're a quarterback, it's natural as a quarterback. If you are playing on a team and you have all of your targets and and they drop balls constantly, don't run the right routes, their reads are off, and just for whatever reason they're not playing up to the ability you need them to, you naturally have a tendency to second guess them, which automatically makes you a half a second or half a step slower with what you need to do, which throws everything off me. I mean, you play the game, obviously, you know, on offense, it's all one big dance. Everyone has to be in unison. You're supposed to be in this spot at this time. If you're not there, I'm throwing it there, trusting that you're going to be there. If you're not there, then I don't know if I can throw you the ball. And obviously that comes on the quarterback. You see all these rookies kind of hanging back or holding the ball too long because they don't know what to do yet. They don't know what the contingency plan is yet because they haven't seen this before. And they end up taking, sack after sack or throwing away picks and whatnot like that. And I think with Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes coming back to them, they've put in all the work and they've built this, this camaraderie between them so that they trust each other and they know, like, look, I know my guy's going to get me the ball, so I got to get to where he wants me to be. And I think a lot of those guys on that list, they don't have that because, one, they're rookies, two, they're unproven, and they haven't shown that they can, command that type of respect yet.
And I guess that's why I'm still big on Minshew, right? Because I'm not saying Minshew's going to have that Lamar Jackson, that Patrick Mahomes, season next year. Because I don't think they have they don't have the line right now. They don't have the line. They don't have the weapons. I think we've seen glimpses from the receiving core, but we don't know quite yet. But my point is the fact that, okay, so if you want to take one of your first-round draft picks and you get a quarterback in Jacksonville, and maybe you want him to compete against Gardner Minshew right off the bat, so be it. But you have to make sure it's a good situation for that quarterback. Because like I just said, we mentioned Daniel Jones, Dwayne Haskins, Kyler Murray. Drew Luck's a little exception because he came in later. But those guys right there, they haven't really been, they're putting up numbers, but let's be honest, they're not winning a lot of ball games, and I haven't really been impressed with any. Honestly, the guy I've been most impressed with, set aside from Gardner Minshew, is probably Drew Lock so far. And Drew Lock's played, 2 games?
Yeah.
And that's all I have to go off of his sample size. So we got to remember, too, I get it, the rebuild. You got to draft quarterbacks. The more, the merrier. Yeah, but you got to make sure that you have the team around him to be successful. Because it doesn't matter if you bring in Herbert, Tua, or whoever else it is. If you bring in a quarterback to this team right now, they're not going to play well. And guess what? If they don't play well right off the bat, you run the risk of losing that confidence. Yep. We saw it with Blaine Gabbert. I was there, man. Okay? You saw a little bit with Blake Bortles as well. So I want to continue this conversation after the break here. And we got to talk about, so if you are the new regime coming in and you see Gardner Minshew there, you see Nick Foles there, what does Gardner Minshew have to do for you in the next 3 games to say, you know what? This Minshew guy, this Minshew Magic type of character, I like what we see here. We'll talk about it next on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau on ESPN 690 is brought to you by Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park.
Now, the first alert forecast on ESPN 690.
A few evening showers and very mild temperatures, then a period of heavy rain and storms after midnight as temperatures drop to near 60 degrees. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds, where now through December 24th, you get 20% off everything in the store, including loose diamonds, only at Beard's Diamonds.
When you owe IRS or state sales tax and can't pay, call J. David Tax Law for effective tax help. J. David Tax Law can stop IRS or state collection actions and protect you from financial ruin. Call J. David Tax Law for a no-cost consultation at 904-507-4777. That's 904-507-4777 or at jdavidtaxlaw.com. Peace of mind is only a click or a phone call away.
As you know by now, I love the wings at Mr. Chubby's Wings. Hey, everyone, this is Brent Martineau. You'll love them, too, and you have to try the wings. But Mr. Chubby's has a full menu. Parents, kids, and sports teams, this is made for you. The American Dream Special. Burgers, fries, and a famous Mr. Chubby Shake for just $12.99. The American Dream Special. I suggest throwing in some wings, too, especially the Maple Cajun. 2 locations, the West Side and in Fleming Island. Chub it up at the place to be, Mr. Chubby's Wings.
It's a celebration you won't want to miss. The 75th Tax Slayer Gator Bowl on Thursday, January 2nd, 7 p.m. at TIAA Bank Field. This year's matchup will feature a team from the SEC pitted against an opponent from either the ACC or Big Ten Conference. Let's fill the bank and pay tribute to 75 years of Gator Bowl history. Special anniversary offer includes 4 game tickets, a parking pass, and game program for only $75. Package is now on sale at TaxSlayerGatorBowl.com.
Over half of all men suffer from ED or PE. If you're one of them, either can be embarrassing, but they're both very treatable. Fortunately, Prime Men's Medical Center has the solution. Meet Dr. Rabinski, a specialist in men's health.
If you're not the man you used to be in the bedroom because of ED or PE, Prime Men's Medical Center offers custom blended medications designed just for you. There's no pain or surgery. If you have diabetes, high blood pressure, or prostate issues, not a problem. If Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, now men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer. And best of all, it's affordable.
For a private consultation with our highly skilled physicians, call Prime Men's Medical Center, 904-206-8105. You'll see results on your first visit, guaranteed, or there's no charge for your consultation. Call Prime Men's Medical Center now at 904-206-8105. 904-206-8105. That's 904-206-8105.
Can you imagine bringing this kind of joy to kids in need? Are you financially able to pick up a few extra gifts this season? One of the easiest ways to create a great Christmas for local kids is through Jewish Family and Community Services. We offer all of our services to people of every age, religion, and background, including giving kids a brighter Christmas. Help us make this holiday season shine. Jewish Family and Community Services. Here for giving. Here for Jags. Learn more at hereforjags.com.
Can a tree change a life? At Trees for the Future, we believe trees make all the difference in the fight against poverty, hunger, and climate change. Through a proven permaculture method called the Forest Garden Approach, Trees for the Future has positively impacted over 26,000 farmers and their children. Are you ready to leave a lasting impact on the world? Find out how to plant seeds of hope this season at trees.org/radio. That's trees.org/radio.
The holidays are on the horizon, and that means family and food. Hey, everybody, I'm Brent Martineau. Let Renna's Pizza help you out. Parties at school, parties at work, celebrations, or hey, maybe you're just tired of cooking yourself. Renna's has you covered with 5 locations in Northeast Florida. Want a fresh one? Renna's makes everything fresh. New York-style pizza, sandwiches, salads, pasta dishes. Everything fresh. Find out why Renna's has been a family favorite for over 40 years. 5 locations in Northeast Florida, Marsh Landing, Bay Meadows, Argyle Forest, San Jose, and the newest location in Neptune Beach.
20% off. Bah, humbug! Don't get Scrooged this Christmas buying a diamond from anyone else but Beard's Diamonds.
Now through Christmas, you'll save an extra 20% off Beard's already guaranteed low prices.
That's on everything in the store, including loose diamonds. If you're popping the question this holiday season, now's the time to buy at Beard's Diamonds.
You can save thousands. 20% off, but only until December 24th.
Beard's Diamonds in the St. John's Town Center.
Or at beardsdiamonds.com.
Did you know that Florida residents with hearing loss are able to receive free amplified telephone equipment through a nationwide nonprofit agency? The telephone equipment provides users the ability to hear conversations loud and clear and is available free for residents. Equipment works with both home phones as well as cellular devices. There are multiple distribution sites throughout the Jacksonville area, and those that are interested should contact the area program coordinator at 407-710-0770. That's 407-710-0770.
When you owe IRS or state sales tax and can't pay, call J. David Tax Law for effective tax help. J. David Tax Law can stop IRS or state collection actions and protect you from financial ruin. Call J. David Tax Law for a no-cost consultation at 904-507-4777. That's 904-507-4777 or at jdavidtaxlaw.com. Peace of mind is only a click or a phone call away.
Hey, Bruiser, you ready to do the old holiday shopping routine?
Yeah, I got all the houses picked out.
Alrighty.
Hey, you know, I almost feel sorry for these folks.
Ah, don't go soft on me now. That's why they pay insurance.
Okay, so you promise those kids will just lose their bikes for a little while?
Yeah, I promise. Whatever.
All right, then let's sing our favorite holiday song.
Yeah. We're making our list, checking it twice.
Looking for houses with things that are nice. Bruiser and Browser are coming to town. We're filling our truck, we won't leave much.
Avoiding those houses at God's safe touch.
Bruiser and Browser are coming to town.
Crime does increase during the holidays. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, owner of Safe Touch Security Systems. Our new Safe Touch two-way communicator saves lives and prevents property loss every day. Our average response time is an incredible 14 seconds. Nobody can match our service or our price. You have my guarantee on it.
Call SafeTouch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Ironically, my health and fitness business was feeling slow and out of shape. That's why I booked space at the Jags Health and Fitness Expo on February 22nd at the Morocco Shrine. The Jags Health and Fitness Expo draws thousands of health and fitness conscious people looking for ways to enhance their health. That's just the type of customer my business needs to get back in the game. Give your business a boost and book your sponsorship now at 245-8596 or visit BeHealthyJax.com. 245-8596 or BeHealthyJax.com.
ESPN 690 Sports Center Update.
Happy Friday. I'm Jake Mitchell. There's a shakeup in the Jags coaching staff. No, not that. Quarterback coach Scott Milenovich has announced his departure from the team to take a head coaching position for the CFL's Edmonton Eskimos. Milenovich will finish the season with the Jaguars. LSU quarterback Joe Burrow is taking home hardware before the playoffs. Heisman favorite won the Maxwell and the Davey O'Brien Awards last night. Joe is excited about winning, but he's more excited about the college football playoffs.
All the awards are nice, but I'm a game plan kind of guy, so I'm ready to get back into it.
And the Jacksonville Icemen are in town this weekend. They play the Orlando Solar Bears on Saturday. Puck drops at 7 p.m. This is the Guns N' Hoses game. Stay connected with ESPN 690 while you're at work by listening on ESPN690.com. The best kept secret in tires is TireOutlet.com. Tire Outlet offers wholesale prices with premium service, and TireOutlet.com always has a safety-first focus. With locations throughout the First Coast, there's no need to go anywhere else for tires and service.
Stephen A. Smith Show, weekdays from 1 to 3 p.m. on ESPN 690.
Nobody's saying that Jimmy Garoppolo can't play. He's got 9 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. I know they got a good defense because that's the only reason they ain't know right now. It ain't because of Jimmy G.
Brent Martineau.
You see him every day on CBS 47, Fox 30, Action Sports Jax.
Austin Lane.
He's a former Jag star and current MMA fighter.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studio. This is Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
I mean, we're not an unfinished product yet, guys. We know that, and we're just trying to get them better each and every week. I think there's a thermometer to that where, as a young player, you try to push them, but if you can't push them so far over the top that they get gassed out. So you just try to do it incrementally as time goes. You say, hey, he's ready for the next challenge. Just put it on him, and so on and so forth.
Defensive coordinator of the Raiders, Paul Guenther, there, and it's funny because he's absolutely right, especially talking about the rookie class coming in, the younger guys, where you can't redline them. Coming from college, going to the NFL, they always say you hit that the proverbial rookie wall, and that's a real thing. I'm here to tell you that's a real thing for sure. But it's funny, too, because I feel like on the defensive side of the ball where there's so much more, I guess, intensity and just, I guess, I don't say rah-rah, but, there's a lot more grit and toughness as opposed to the offensive side of the ball where it's more you have to be calm and calculated.
Yep.
So it's funny. And listen, I don't know the numbers, and maybe someone should do some research on this. I'm sure it's not out there right now. But, from the perspective of rookies getting hurt or, rookies hitting that proverbial rookie wall, I wonder how much of it is guys on defense and what percentage of it is guys on offense. Because if I was a betting man, which I'm not really, only we're talking about fights sometimes. But if I was a betting man, I would be willing to put my money down and say the guys on defense, I think, are more susceptible to injuries just because of what that side of the ball asks from them. And it's more of a fatiguing side of the ball, I guess, if you will.
You know what's funny? You say that because I think that I've thought about that. And I think a lot of times that, it wouldn't shock me if it was the offensive side of the ball.
Really?
Simply because because with defense, obviously you know what's asked of you and everything. Same thing with the offense, but at the same time, because of the way the game is going now and everything, you can't really simulate the actual game action on offense. Like, I don't know how it is with every other team, so I can't speak for them. But
Sure.
I know for a fact that as far as, like, coming into this year, it was a little bit of a lighter training camp and everything like that. Like, there's never really a true live period for offense. And I feel like once you get into the game, it's very much different. Like, obviously quarterbacks are live or not live.
Correct.
But even with, like, wide receiver and running backs, when you're in practice, you're not getting hit. You're not taking shots. And then a lot of times especially when you're doing, like, these 7-on-7 or skeleton drills, like, you're not going full go 11, which obviously something you can speak to. It can't be simulated.
Yeah.
11 guys that don't like you who want to essentially kill you. Against 11 guys who are trying not to be killed. I feel like you can't really simulate that. Now, I can see how you could say that on defense, because when you're practicing in defense, you're not trying to kill your own guys.
Correct.
You're not trying to, go super loud with your own guys. When you get in the game, you're, unleashing everything. But I also feel like on the offensive side of the ball, like, you're taking shots that you wouldn't normally take, in practice, preparing up to the game.
No, that's a good point.
And also you're probably going a little bit harder. And I think that's why we see a lot of those soft tissue injuries, hamstrings. You saw Mike Evans just pulled his hamstring; he's done for the year.
Sure.
Sprained ankles and like groins and stuff like that. Because in practice, naturally you're expected to go full go, but let's be honest, you're really not going full go except on game day.
Yeah.
And I feel like we've seen a lot of soft tissue injuries. Now, whether they play or not is that's another story.
Correct.
But I feel like there are a lot of soft tissue issues when it comes to the body of the guys on offense for that reason.
I guess I'm just biased because I had Joe Cohn yelling at me for the first 3 years of my career. But I get what you're saying, though. And I think from a mental standpoint as well, I mean, all you got to do is look at the playbooks, right? Like, my playbook my rookie year, it was like a magazine. It was like ESPN the magazine. And the offensive playbook, because I remember, because one of my good friends, his name was Deja Kareem. He was the 6th round pick out of Southern Illinois. And we were really good friends, obviously, both rookies and everything. And I remember seeing his playbook, man. And, like, when I was the guy, hey, let's go get some dinner, he's like, dude, I have to go over this playbook, man. And
Bible.
Yeah, and it was like a King James edition, Old and New Testament coming at you. Like, it was that thick. So, yeah, I guess it's a great point. I mean, I wonder what the numbers would say, but I guess there's pros and cons to both. I guess from the mental standpoint, for sure, offense. And I'll be the first one to admit that. From the physicality standpoint, you could probably make cases for both sides. Want to do a little ball and phone?
Why not? Let's ball and fall.
Hey, before we get into ball and phone, I'll tell you what's really balling, a little Vida de Louis.
Nobody come between us. Can't make nobody come between us. Oh, cherry baby.
As the careless party now begin, see the beautiful ladies marching in. There's enough for everyone to win. We're gonna make this party the best thing happening. This is my favorite place. Nothing will replace, no. Nothing. Anything goes, gangsters are rolling, half face smiling, heads up, I think of the rhythm, what you're drinking. Anything goes, hey.
Let's see if Marcel can bring us home. Grab a drink, get a shot, and tip your star tenders.
Hey, check out VitaDeLuis.com, the best tasting tequila on the market. Hey, look, Christmas time is coming up.
It is.
Trying to figure out what you're trying to buy.
Preach.
Your adult friends.
Come on.
What goes better with eggnog?
Yeah.
Than tequila.
Yeah. Either you celebrate good times or you celebrate because the in-laws are in town and they're not so good times. Either way, Vida de Louis has got your back, I feel like.
Smoothest tequila around. You've heard us. We are big fans of Vida de Louis. I think there's a bottle over there I might get into.
There's a bottle over there. Yep.
But nonetheless, check out VitaDeLuis.com. They have a wide assortment of tequila, and I guarantee you will not be disappointed.
Can you pronounce the 2 new flavors? I'm putting you on the spot.
Oh, my gosh. I've got Reposado.
Not bad. Reposado.
Close.
Here comes the other one.
See, I'm a Blanco guy, so I don't.
Okay. Name dropping.
And Yeho, there it is.
Trying to get out of this segment, I appreciate it, but not bad, man.
I just, you know what?
Hey, you know what? I put you on the spot and you passed with flying colors. Before we go to break here, speaking of getting put on the spot real quick, so Gardner Minshew.
Yep.
We talked about it a little bit. 3 games left of the season.
Right.
New regime coming in. He's the young guy. I get it. It could be a battle between Foles and Minshew. One would think that the new regime coming in goes with the young guy.
Yep.
If they do go with Minshew and he is the man going forward, what does he have to show you? If you're the coach coming in for the Jacksonville Jaguars, if you're the GM or whoever, What does Gardner Minshew have to show you the next 3 games to ensure that, you know what, this is the guy going forward?
For me, it's very simple. Obviously, other than the obvious win, I need to know if he's a guy, can I say, hey, we need to drive down and score a touchdown right now? Can he step on the field and say, look, we're going to go down there and we're going to do it. We're going to put points on the board. I think that's the one thing I need to be able to, if I'm a coach coming in, I need to see, because at that point I know, hey, look, now I know that when it comes down to it, crunch time, 2-minute, 4-minute, whatever like that, I got a guy who can not just manage the game, he can take over a game.
And as was passed down to me from Joe Cohen, my former defensive line coach, he always told me these last games of the season, he said, you got to play your tail off. Why? Because when teams come in, especially a new regime, or a team is interested in you, bringing you on as a free agent, they always go back to your final 3 games first, and then they work backwards to the beginning of the season. Right. Because the philosophy is, you know what kind of, obviously your skills will pop up on film, but those last 3 games of the season, especially when the playoffs are not in reach, it shows you what type of culture guy you are. It shows what type of player you are and how much you love the game of football. Because if you're slacking on film, well, then they're not probably going to bring you in or keep you around. So from Minshew's perspective, obviously we know he loves football. And obviously that's not even in question. But from what he has to do from my standpoint, and I get it, winning games is the most important thing. But I think if he has consistent, days of, let's say, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, and he keeps the Jaguars in it, I think he's got a really good chance of being the quarterback next year. Because if you look at the team right now, and coaches will think this way too, yeah, it's Minshew and he's the quarterback, but he doesn't have a lot of help around him, especially on defense. True. Right? So I guess my final question to you, then we'll go to break here, is would you rather see Minshew have that, maybe like a 130 quarterback rating, a really good rating, but go 0-3? Or would you rather see Minshew go 3-0, but have maybe like a 60 quarterback rating, like a not a very good rating? What do you think is more important?
I think it's going to sound very contradictory to what I just said, but I think absolutely the latter versus the former. I don't care if you can go out there and throw whatever stats on the board. I think a little bit of that is kind of questionable just because he doesn't control what the defense does. Yeah. So if they go out there and lose, if he goes out there and averages that particular quarterback rating and they're losing games by 7 or 14, but the scores are like, I don't know, 28-35 or 20-31, then I'm like, okay, that's fun. But I think being able to, I don't know. Now that I think about it, I think I would be okay. It depends on what the score is.
Yeah, there is no right answer here. It's all speculative.
I think now that I think about it, now that I talk my way through it, I think I'd probably end up sticking with my original. Like I said, if they're putting up points and they're putting up numbers and the offense is functioning, but they're 0-3, then I'm like, okay, I see that we've got a little bit of offense that we can build upon, but I know we got to fix the defense. Well,
regardless of what side you're on, I think we can both agree on here that the fact that you're playing an Oakland Raiders team on defense right now who is struggling in the secondary, and all things considered, even though your best receiving threat and DJ Chark is out, you should probably be able to dominate and put up some pretty good numbers.
100%.
Hopefully you can get out of your slump.
Football is a game of depth. I know DJ Chark it looks like our best receiver right now, but it's next man up. Somebody's got to go out there and make some plays.
Kuz, let's go ahead and go to break here. I was just going to say, good timing there, Kuz. Great timing. I think when we come back, Kuz, you got a little game for us? You got some hot takes or something like that? What are we calling this next segment coming up here?
Brian wanted to call it 20 and 10.
20 and 10.
But we don't have 10 minutes.
We don't have 10 minutes, so that's a horrible tease coming back from this segment. But hey, stay tuned because we're going to play something new or try something new here, I guess, on the show. Hey, it's a Friday. Let's see what we got. More from ESPN690 when we get back.
Golick and Wingo.
Aaron Rodgers, as Stephen A. Smith likes to say, is a but how spectacular Aaron Rodgers was able to be. All we're going to remember is that freak show throw to Aaron Jones in the end zone. I don't know if it was a throwaway or not, but what it was magic.
Aaron Rodgers looks like 2 straight weeks now. He's in the flow with Matt LaFleur. But if you're the Chiefs, you got to say to yourselves, we had every opportunity to win this game with our backup quarterback. That defense let him down.
Golick and Wingo, weekdays at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN2. Every day, men and women from communities across this nation serve as reserve citizen airmen.
I am proud to defend our nation.
Proud to be part of a team that helps make a difference.
I am proud to be part of something larger than me and to serve my country.
We celebrate those who have served and those who are proudly serving in the Air Force Reserve. Our mission is to fly, fight, and win in air, space, and cyberspace.
I am proud to be a member. I am proud to protect our...
Proud to serve in the U.S. Air Force Reserve.
Hey, it's Mike Golick from Golick & Wingo. Thanks for making ESPN 690 the fastest growing sports station in Jacksonville. Clearly, it's because I'm on every morning from 6 till 10 a.m. But this isn't about me. It's about your business. Get your business noticed today. First Coast is making the switch to ESPN 690, and there's no better time to get on our team than right now. Call ESPN 690 today, 245-8732. That's 245-8732. Grow your business today on the new ESPN 690.
Hey, boss. I could sure use some cheering up. Hey, do one of your holiday poems for me, would you?
All right. How about this one? 'Twas the week before Christmas, and all through the town, Safe Touch was gone. They were nowhere to be found.
Oh, I like it already.
The do-it-yourself alarms, just as simple as pie, claim to be good, but crooks know it's a lie.
Yeah, we do.
No more stressing about Safe Touch's response guarantee. 'Cause the do-it-yourself alarms don't have one, you see?
Do-it-yourself alarms have no response guarantee?
And that's why it's plain to see that the Crooks Are Us rule reminds us every day staying away from Safe Touch houses is the price we gotta pay.
Crooks know to stay away from Safe Touch houses. Hi, I'm Lester Jackson, president of Safe Touch Security Systems. No one beats our technology or our price.
Call Safe Touch today at 888-723-8682 or go to safetouch.com. State license number EF233.
Alexa, how do I drive more customers into my business?
First, people will need to hear about you. Then you need to be online where they look for you. Then you need
I don't have time for that. I need to run my business.
Okay, searching for a local team that can help.
Local Solutions. Visit JacksonvilleLocalSolutions.com today.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Austin Lane from Action Sports Jax. Thanks for making ESPN 690 the fastest growing sports station in Jacksonville. It was a lot of fun playing for the Jacksonville Jaguars for 3 years, and I'm having just the same amount of fun on the radio every single day with ESPN 690. So I'm reaching out to you to be part of our team and grow your business with ESPN 690. Give us a holler at 245-8732. That's 245-8732. We look forward to hearing from you and hope you join the team.
First Coast No More Homeless Pets Veterinary Hospital provides premium veterinary care for less. 7 days a week, a full range of services with compassionate care. Pet owners shouldn't have to choose between paying bills or a healthy pet. Call 425-0005, 425-0005, or fcnmhp.org.
Tedeschi Trucks with St. Paul and the Broken Bones and Gabe Dixon are coming to Daly's Place June 26, 2020. You can win a free pair of tickets this week from ESPN 690. To register, go to the contest tab on ESPN690.com. See Tedeschi Trucks live with ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Hey everybody, Trey Wingo from Golick & Wingo. You're listening to Action Sports Jax with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com.
Welcome back to ESPN 690. Going through the final segment here, getting ready to put a bow on the show, as our boy Brent Martineau would say. Hopefully he's having safe travels to Oakland. I was joined today by Mr. Marcel Robinson.
Yep.
Gonna be honest, the show never looked so good, man.
I'm just here to do my part.
And that you are. You broke Brent's microphone, and it is what it is. Don't lie and say your arm's not getting tired because you've switched hands now with the microphone.
Well, that's just a comfortability thing.
It ain't a comfortability thing. You're starting to get fatigued. Don't lie about it.
Well, no, I'm not tired, but I realize whenever I hold it with my left hand, I'm like blocking the camera.
Marcel, I'll tell you right now, if we go to overtime, like say we go another hour, we go into overtime, you're not lasting.
I'll be good.
That arm is falling.
I just keep moving. That's all.
So, but before we get into our new little game/segment here, I quick wanted to break down UFC 245 real quick. Usually we do stay in your lane. I'm going to be honest, I had a lot on my plate today. Didn't want to do extra homework, so no stay in your lane. That's no problem with me, but UFC 245 is this weekend, and they always save the best card for last to close out the year, correct? And when we got UFC 245, we're talking about the main event, Colby Covington, Kamaru Usman. This is an intriguing matchup from the standpoint of you have two wrestlers. Kamaru Usman's never been taken down town. Colby, arguably, probably the better wrestler. So when wrestling cancels out, you have striking. So you have the power of Usman taking on the cardio and the output of Colby Covington. And obviously, Colby Covington being best friends with Donald Trump adds a little more of a narrative as well. One to keep an eye on. Max Holloway, Alexander Volkanovski. Volkanovski, kind of the unheard of name from Australia, has been on a nice little win streak. Max Holloway, obviously one of the GOATs. I think Max Holloway, the taller fighter, gets it done here. Honestly, Kamara and Colby, I have no idea. And then the last, another title fight. 3 title fights on this card. You got Amanda Nunes, Jermaine Duran made the rematch that took place back in 2013. Amanda Nunes is really the GOAT. And how the UFC has not promoted her, I have no idea. You remember names of like Ronda Rousey, right? Mostly for Ronda Rousey, one of the biggest names ever in the UFC. Well, Amanda Nunes knocked her out. Yep. Amanda Nunes has beat Valentina Shevchenko, the 125er, twice. She's knocked out Holly Holm. She's knocked out the who's who of women's fighting. But for whatever reason, no one really knows about Amanda Nunes, and she's fighting, the third from the top on this card. So tune into that if you can. I'll be breaking that down probably more on Monday with the results there. But Kuz, let's get into our game real quick before we got to say bye for the weekend. So what are you about to do here?
We got 5 minutes, so I'm just going to kind of throw some headlines at you, and you guys can kind of take it however you want, essentially.
I'll take it. Let's go.
Broncos coach. Phrasing. Broncos coach Vic Fangio says the NFL should get rid of divisions altogether. Agree or disagree?
Marcel, go ahead.
I disagree. I
really?
Think, I think that I just don't like it. I don't like the removal of the disbandment of the divisions.
I get where you're coming from, but get where I'm coming from. The Seattle Seahawks right now are 10-3 in the NFL.
Yes.
Are they a wild card team, or are they a legit contender and shouldn't have to be a wild card team?
Well, I mean, if that's the way it falls, they're a wild card team.
That's the way it falls. We got the Dallas Cowboys and Eagles sitting at 6 and 7 right now.
I do agree with that.
Yeah,
but I do feel like with the divisions, if we take away the division and we just go from top to bottom,
sure,
best 6.
Yeah,
I think we also lose a little bit of that parity a little bit. Like we're going to see essentially the same 16 or same 12 teams in the playoffs every single year, and we don't have that, let me just play to get in. Because think about it, if it were the best 6 or best 12 teams in the league and no divisions, the Jaguars would not have been in the AFC Championship game because they wouldn't have been in the playoffs in 2017.
Yeah. I'll let you have the last word because there's other questions here, but you did not win this battle. Okay, Kuz, what else you got?
Dominic Foxworth said on TV the other day that Aaron Rodgers is not one of the top 8 quarterbacks in the league.
Okay, so let's be honest. This is like hot takes. This is basically we're rehashing hot takes here. That's all this is.
You can.
For the people who have been listening since day one, we're doing hot takes today. Okay.
That's fair.
I'm sorry, Aaron Rodgers not in the top 10?
Top 8.
Top 8. Marcel's counting. Aaron Rodgers is absolutely in the top 8. Do you know why? When Devontae Adams was out and the Green Bay Packers were still winning, name me another wide receiver, Marcel, from the Green Bay Packers.
Alan Lazard.
Oh, that's cheating.
How's that cheating?
Because you know him. He was here.
I mean, does Marcedes Lewis count even though he's a tight end?
Absolutely, yeah. He's still a receiver.
Jimmy Graham?
There you go. Yeah, good call. But here's my point, though. Like you said, Alan Lazard.
Yep.
Alan Lazard probably, with all due respect to him, couldn't fit in anywhere else, right? But playing in Green Bay with
Probably
Aaron
here.
Rodgers, all of a sudden he's a household name, though, right? Like people in Green Bay know who Alan Lazard is.
Yeah, fair.
And that's the greatness of Aaron Rodgers. So Aaron Rodgers absolutely is a top 8 quarterback.
I mean, I agree. I think he's top 8.
Okay. That one's pretty cut and dry.
All right. Probably will be the last one here because we're going to run out of time.
We'll see.
Paul Feinbaum says, I firmly believe that Lane Kiffin is going to be the first Saban disciple to be the GOAT.
No.
Why?
Because Kirby Smart is.
Well, but has Kirby Smart won the big one yet?
He is not, but he's a hell of a lot closer than Lane Kiffin's going to get.
Yeah, I think I probably agree with that. Like Lane Kiffin's offensive mind is intriguing, and his ability to recruit is intriguing. Well, don't shake your head because I get it. Kirby Smart's a defensive kind of guy, right? But the way even the SEC is going now, it's all about the offense, man. It's offense. Look at LSU right now. So from that perspective, you know what? Go ahead and put me down for I agree.
Wow.
Mark it down right now. With Paul Feinbaum, I feel like me and Paul Feinbaum have zero in common.
Go figure. Austin Lane's on the Lane trade.
Oh, you better believe it, man. Absolutely. I'll see you at Thanksgiving, Lane. I know it doesn't work because last name, first name, or whatever, man. I still consider you family, dude. Oh, is that it? We got one more.
We got time for one more.
Okay.
One more quick one. Jarvis Landry commented about Odell Beckham wanting out of Cleveland, saying he doesn't want to leave. He isn't trying to leave. Do you believe it?
I think Odell Beckham Jr. wants to win the Super Bowl. And through all the antics with New York, and there hasn't really been any antics in Cleveland, but I think the guy just wants to win. Like, right, we heard the rumors of Odell wanting to leave when the Browns were losing. So I think Odell's going to stick it out because I think he's kind of like a man of his word. People can say whatever they want about him, but I think he's going to try to see this thing through because they do have talent in Cleveland, like we talked about earlier on the show today.
I agree. I don't think he wants to be out of Cleveland. I think he just wants to win. I think he would prefer to win in Cleveland. I mean, he's in a great situation. He's playing with his brother, Jarvis Landry.
Yeah.
I don't think he wants to get out at all. I think he just, like you say, he just wants to win.
Whew, all right. Well, that was Hot Takes. Good to have that back. Maybe we'll rehash it
20
next
and 10.
week. 20 and 10?
That's what it's supposed to be called.
That was a Hot Takes Junior, we'll call that, because we got about 4 or 5 of them in. Hey, for myself, Coos pushing all the right buttons. For the Swagosaurus himself, Marcel Robinson rocking the shades, the Bret Hart Hitman shades. And for Brett Martineau having safe travels to Oakland, have a great weekend. We'll be back Monday to break down the Jaguars. Hopefully we have something positive to say. But if not, you know where we're going to be at. Same time, same place. Marcel, got anything else to say?
I fixed Brent's mic.
Brent Martineau, your microphone, well, we'll see. It sounds like it's fixed, but we'll find out Monday. Thanks for joining us. ESPN 690.
This is the Stephen A. Smith Show.
What happened to us as a society? I'm talking about this insatiable